order. It is Thursday, May 22nd, 2025, 9 o'clock in the morning, and the Kirk County Commissioners Court is in session for a budget workshop, which is on YouTube, by the way. And before we begin the presentations, just give a brief recap of the procedure that we're going to follow. We're going to go through this series of budget workshops and listen to every department and office's ask. This is kind of like we want to know what's on your wish list. And try to discuss it. We'll go through these workshops, I think, up until late June. I think it's late June. And then I was at what? Yep, okay. And then after I've listened to everybody, I'll put together a proposed budget and distribute that to everyone. That will be one that we work for as we move into stretch. And by probably the end of July, we should know where we are. It's pretty much where we are. I have to confess, we have a lot of hard work to do. I woke up at 2 o'clock this morning and then go back to sleep worried about this budget. It's going to be a very tough budget. There are potentially existential threats. And when I use the term existential threats, there are some things we may no longer be able to do that will not exist. That's why it's existential. And I don't know what's going to happen in this process, but we may not be able to deliver the services that the county has traditionally provided in the same manner we have in the past. I don't know. We'd have to see where we are with it. So I don't want to scare everybody, but this is probably going to be the toughest thing we've ever done. And all that said, without the wisdom, common sense, and judgment of Commissioner Letts, who for 28 years was president on the first day of budget workshops. And this is the first year he has not been. So we'll try to make up his loss. Okay, with that, is there anything else anybody wants to say before we start?
No, it's a big puzzle, and every piece is important.
And that's why, and yes, it is. I don't remember.
No, that's fine.
For small departments and small offices, especially, but for those of you that have put together a proposed budget for us to consider, that is $5,000 or less than what it was last year. I've indicated that's not necessarily for them to talk to us. If I need to talk to you, I'll talk to you one-on-one. And the reason for that is to try to leave the maximum amount of time to talk about those really sticky issues that we have to talk about with some of the departments and offices. So with that, we're going to go ahead again. And the first one on the black bean is tax assessor collector, Bob Reeves. Okay, I've got your May 15 letter. You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. I trust y'all also have a copy of the letter that I submitted to the judge and the auditor. I placed it in your box earlier this week. My budget represents just about a 2% increase. Over last year's, I cut where I could, and my increases I feel are necessary. This is a year where I will not have to have bonds, therefore I reduce the bond insurance level to only account for the theft insurance that I carry on my office. That was a reduction of $2,750. As far as my line item for employee training, I have increased that line item by $2,000. This is primarily due to the increase in per diem and mileage rates due to the condition of the two fleet vehicles that we have here at the courthouse. I no longer will allow my staff to take them on the road. I'm sure y'all have seen the condition of the Tahoe. You walk by it every morning when you come to work. And the pickup is of similar shape and condition. They both were hand-me-downs from other departments. So long story short on that, I need more mileage to cover the training of my staff. Probably the largest increase you will see, and you'll see in the chart, is postage. If I could find any way to reduce it, I would, but I've got to mail tax statements. I've got to send out registration renewals. Also, this is a year, it's every other year that is known as the mass mail out for voter registration. Therefore, I've had to increase that line item very substantially. However, that is an unavoidable cost. In addition, software maintenance goes up 4% a year by contract, plus I have to refurbish, update a portion of my inventory of poll pads. Therefore, I had to increase that. Some of my poll pads can no longer be updated, and I have a capital outlay of $8,500. As far as the non-personnel related expenses, do y'all have any questions?
Any questions?
No, it's very organized as usual, Bob. I appreciate the explanation on everything. 2%, especially with postage and stuff, looks justified to me.
Okay.
And Bob, if I could, bottom line, what's the additional expense that you're?
Roughly 2%.
2% total?
Yes. You'll look at the adopted budget for this current fiscal year of $1,285,000, and it's $1,312,000 now.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
As far as my staff, I bring this up to you every year, not asking you for a specific amount of increase, but I stress to you the need to maintain a wage that's competitive for the work that we do and the work the other offices do. I know a salary study was contracted, and as of this date, myself and I checked with some of my contemporaries in the office, we've received one spreadsheet to ask about the experience of our employees. We have not been contacted about what our specific offices do. I understand there was some illness with the person we contracted with, but I don't know how you're going to decide what we should pay our employees if the elected officials aren't interviewed. I think you could have saved the money and put it to better use, to be quite honest. I'm very disappointed in that. My office, and I can't speak for the other offices because each one of us have special requirements, and I'm not trying to characterize our office as being more important than the sheriff's. God knows what his people do. You can't compare that with the employees of the courthouse. I don't want y'all or the public to even think I'm trying to compare that. The sheriff, what he does is beyond description. I thank you for that, Larry. But my office collects and handles over $90 million a year. We have to account for every penny of that. And I know some of you may say, how can that be our budget? But whatever it is, then you can give that number. But I collect for 5 school districts, 4 ESDs, 2 cities, 2 water conservation districts, and more state agencies than I'd care to announce. Some of the bigger ones is DMV and the comptroller's office. I can't collect and account for $90 million without having my staff adequately trained, which y'all have recognized. But before they can issue one registration sticker, they have to complete 42 different small courses, which range from a half hour to an hour long before they can even issue one registration sticker. They're going to collect property tax. There's over 30 hours of training I've got to send them to. Voter registration, keeping up with the laws, that's more. Last year alone, we processed 62,817 vehicle registration stickers, 11,202 titles, 38,900 voter registrations, and collected taxes on 39,500 different parcels. My office interacts probably more than anybody else, and if you walk down and you see lines out the door, sometimes I know it frustrates Judge Harris, but she understands why. And what I bring this up, we're working at a level below what the state says. We've got more state equipment than we do employees, because they allocate based on their transactions. My staff does it without complaint, but I know every one of us in this room here struggle with the compensation. I understand tax budget. I understand taxes, trust me. I'll be glad to show you what I pay annually in taxes in Kirk County. And I don't like to see them go up, but I can't keep good staff if we don't do something about the salary range. So I urge you, when you're studying this budget, to keep in mind each and every employee and what the wage is. I've told Tanya that based on the wage, I only have 2 rental properties that the staff would qualify to rent from me. And one of those is in Harper. So please consider that when you're looking at the staff's pay. They deserve it, whether they're in Nadine's office, Tracy's office, upstairs, whatever office it is. Please keep that in mind. They work hard. They're the front line to every taxpayer, no matter what office they're in. Thank you.
Okay.
May I be excused, Judge?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Next is Ag Extension Office.
What number is?
6699. 6699.
Oh, does it? Okay. Right. Yeah, second page, deal, alcohol.
Yeah. Okay.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
We did have a few increases in our budget overall. On line 310 with the office supplies, there's things that just need to be replaced. I know that's excessive. Seems like a large amount, that $2,992. We just have tables that need to be in our meeting room. That meeting room is used every day by multiple groups, and they're really heavy and hard to move. So we're looking at replacing them with some different types of tables that can be, make our meeting room a little more usable, where you can move them easier. They're very heavy. Some of them have broken. It's more of a safety issue than anything. we may have some excess funds left over from our budget this year, so that number could change definitely, because with not having an ag agent, we have some extra funds that we can use towards that, so that's what we plan to do. So we're hoping that we can purchase at least half of what we need this year before the end of the budget year. Under the FCH travel reimbursement, I just added a little bit there just with the cost of travel. I'm already low on travel, and I'm about to get on the road for the summer. So luckily, we have an ag position that's available, so I can use this travel. But we hope that next year that won't be the case. So I'm hoping that we'll have a full house next year, and I won't have that opportunity to use that travel. Our utilities have gone up, and that was per the auditor. They asked us to go up to that amount, to that $1,000 on utilities. Just repair and maintenance. We have some things, we just had to add a little bit extra there for some repairs and maintenance in our office. The lease copier has gone up to $400, so that had to be added into our budget. And then our vehicle insurance, we were instructed that we needed to go, we should have been going up 25 to 30% every year. We did not do that last year. We didn't realize that, so we're already behind on that. So that was something that we had a need to go up on as well. And then this is something that we'll have to talk about in the future. Of course, we have the van that we transport kids. I estimated it's about the need for the van, and this is minimal, is about 31 days out of the year that we have to have a van. Right now we're needing it more than ever because we are short-staffed. You know, we usually have another person that can drive a vehicle. It's a 2008 van. We're not putting it in the budget to get a new van right now because realize things are tight. But we would like to know if we can do a rental, if that is even an option, if we need it, a rental on a van.
Or, basically 1 month out of the year, days wise.
31 days.
First thing that run through my head. Possible rental, I don't know if that could be done, but he's paying for a vehicle all year long, but you only use 1 month out of the year.
That's kind of just the upkeep and the maintenance. Now, the key will be if we get one. We've already been on the phone, we've been trying to get one from Enterprise, we have to go to San Antonio, but we're just trying to find a source to get that. And that cost, so I did add that in for van, if we're having a van for next year. It's just, that van is just falling apart. And I love it, and it's more of a safety thing. It doesn't have any of the new technology or anything like that. It doesn't have some door handles in there. So, I mean, kids are trying to shut the door using the lever to open the door. So I have to instruct them to roll the window down and pull the door shut. So there's just some safety things with the van. We're gonna use it if we can. But if it becomes a safety hazard, so here in 2 weeks we're going to state roundup. We're taking 20 kids. The van will hold 11. And then we have a vehicle that I can transport some kids in, and we'll get parents help. But we don't want that to be a reason kids can't go because they can't get to that contest. So, and that's one of the big ones that we take kids on, that we have a big group. So I thought maybe just looking at renting a van, and if that works, and we can even get by less on that one, and not having to keep up with the van. I'm open to suggestions. That's what we're doing.
Availability.
Yeah, and that's what we've been doing. We've had Lisa on the phone already. Trying to get us a van here for June. So, and of course, any of the close things that we're doing close, we may be able to take our van. So, but if we're getting on the road and we're traveling to College Station and across the state of Texas, I feel a little bit better about having something a little newer. So, and something a little safer. Yep. So that's where I was at. I was going to meet with you on that, and I thought, let's just see how this works. And if for So I'm willing to figure something different because I'm with you. It's not something that we need all the time. It sits in the parking lot a good portion of the year, and there's times that we really do need it. But if we can find another way, and we don't have to spend a whole bunch of money on a van.
And when I was at O'Connor and Lotus teaching, we had a general manager at a local dealership, and he was just provide us one. So I'm planting that seed. If somebody might.
Find some here that maybe does.
That'd be nice.
That's a good idea. Okay, we can talk about that too. It's a liability. The problem is when you're transporting adults, it's not a big deal. But when you move into transporting kids, youth under 18, then you get they get a little pickier about that. So which I completely understand that. So, but anyway, we'll let you know how that works out.
Can I ask a little bit about the clientele that you're moving in?
Yes.
This is 4-H?
So we deal with, we have several hats that we wear.
Okay.
But the van, when we use the van, it's mostly for youth, 4-H youth. It's the big majority of it is 4-H youth when we're talking with the van, transporting them.
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting, understanding comparing, you know, where I work at the
Yes.
high school. That does feed, you know, some East Coast County high school. But when I see the FFA program and about how they're outfitters resource and compare what we have at 4-H, I mean, they have 4 suburbans,
Yes.
brand new, that
Yes.
one high school.
Yes.
And that's one of our many high schools that we have. And when I compare their funding, where that money comes through, which Bob's talked about, right?
Yeah.
Flows,
Yes.
goes to ISDs and has certain state, they're pretty well equipped, trailers.
Right.
And you're talking about 2008 van.
It's a 2008 van.
I miss this.
It's something that we actually looked at a couple years ago, Judge, tell you, we tried to go through Enterprise to lease a van, but with Amazon was taking pretty much every van coming in. So we were having a really hard time. So they just weren't. And so we kept hitting the wall. So we ended up getting the Explorer, which has been great. And really, again, if we're full staff, it's not as big of an issue, but right now, even when we are full staff, there's weeks that all three of us are dispersing to different places, and we're taking kids, which is good. Kirk County is very active. Very proud of the activity and leadership, and I'm hoping, my hope is that we're growing leaders to take over your position one day, so you feel good about getting to retire one day, because you want to retire too. So,
Sooner the better.
we're working on it. So, we probably have some politicians coming through our groups right now. So, but yeah, just we're open to being creative. So if you have other ideas to help us, in that, but that's where we're looking right now. So we're just looking at renting. And I'm the same way. I don't know that we need to have a van in the parking lot all the time. So
Thank you. Anything else?
anyway,
Thank-
that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, moving right along, let's go to county jail. That's under 512. Pardon? Oh, I'm sorry. We need to call Charlie first, I'm sorry. False start. So this will be, county engineer and flood control, right?
Yes, sir. Not prepared for the flood control one. Flood control, I know we've got some money set aside to be grant matches, and we are still waiting to hear back from Texas Water Development Board. I did get a note from our consultants. Half and Associates have been helping us with those applications. about a week ago that said it's just really slow going. I'd like a little more information in the next coming weeks or so, maybe at our next budget workshop. We can talk more about that.
Okay. And we're gonna go Fund 15, right?
Yes, sir. And we may have two different things for flood control, so we may come back. Let me just do Fund 15 first, and come back to that. Okay. Thank you. So, 15,601, that's my budget. I'm asking for an additional $200 for employee medicals. We came short this year. We have to get medicals. We have CDL licenses, we get tested. And when you get drug tested, you never know when that's gonna happen, but when it happens, then it's expensive. And so we need to budget a little more for next year. $400 to $200. And then for books, publications, dues, fees, another $45 there, up to $700. That's a total of $245. I think I misspoke earlier and said $240, I was off by $5. So
I'm gonna hold you there.
I may have to bring that to your office, boss. Sorry about that. But that's my budget for this year. Those are the only items that we're asking for an increase on.
Very good, thank you.
And then when we go back to, there's an item, Fund 22, flood control, is that the one that we want to talk about? Yes, this is one I do want to hold off on this until later. Kelly handed it to me, thank you so much, Kelly. But yeah, I want to hold off on these just a little bit. I need a little more information from our consultants, from half associates.
Okay.
That would be helpful.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Anything else, Charlie? Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Now we go to county jail. That is fine. Give everybody time to get there. Everybody ready?
Well, Judge, kind of what I'd like to do is go over some real quick notes, recap a couple things for our new commissioners, especially where you are about the public. And then I'd like to hand out an updated two-page sheet that I sent you on May 15th. It's kind of color-coded, and those two pages pretty have much of the bulk of my request, you know, other than line items, and then I'd like to get into line items, if that's fine.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I want to update, like I said, the new commissioners in the budget. Under my administration, I feel we've been very proactive, responsible, creative, trying to find funds to help pay for items that I don't have to come here and ask for. You know, I think we've done everything possible to streamline some funding and find to fulfill our wants and some of our needs. So just real quick, we'll cover the grants. As of today, under my administration, since I've been in office, we've brought in $3,755,000. Okay. Also, as of today, I have three outstanding grants out there. One from criminal justice grant, which is ACOG. We've got to make the cut. We've got a preliminary approval of $72,250, which I'll talk about my in-car. That's for in-car computers. The second one is a rifle resistant body armor of $79,740. That's a two-year grant. What that does is that pays for 50% of our bulletproof vests. The problem with that is I have to front the money, so I need the full amount in my line item, and then half of it goes in the general fund when it comes back.
Is this related to jail?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just giving you cover before I get into my wants and needs, Judge. All right. The second thing is, anyway, so the third one is Operation Lone Star. Kind of just set in the stage, Judge. 30,000 put up. Operation Lone Star, I've got a grant out $1,468,000. So what I'm saying is I've got $1,620,000 of grants. I won't get all that Operation Lone Star, but I'm pushing for half, doing everything I can. With Dale's office, Pete Forrest's office, Don Bunkin, everything they can to help us. There were a lot of help last year. These grants are the reason why we've been able to function and have our forensic lab. We have a state-of-the-art forensic lab out there. No other agency our size has something like that. We have a criminal injection team that nobody else has something like that. It's a three-man team. It's been very successful. We just made a large seizure last week. We can all that monitor Facebook. Also, we have a 14-man special response team that is, and these items have, the taxpayers haven't paid anything on that. To fund one operator today is $28,850. I've got $806,000 in a special response team that none of that has come from our county taxpayers. And that's when I tell y'all, I think we've done a very good job to offset some of our costs. Then we'll talk about our out-of-county housing. Now we're kind of getting into Judge. As of yesterday at 5 o'clock, we brought in $1,198,000. Currently today, I have 246 prisoners, 78 out-of-county prisoners. Since I've been in office, we brought in $5 million, we bring in $5,070 a day. That is how many we bring in every day out of county housing. Since I've been in office, we brought in $5,157,000. Okay, so when you add those two together, that's $8,900,000 since I've been the sheriff here. With that, think about that. I may not be a lot of money to y'all or some people. To me, that's a lot of money. I'm a sheriff, I run law enforcement agency. I'm not making money, but like I said, so just want to set the stage for y'all and tell you that's why I say we've been responsible, proactive, and creative.
Sure, before we move on, I'm trying to follow money. Your revenue that jail brings in is substantial.
Yes, sir.
In fact, $5,000 a day is one of the few things we have. Where does that money go within our budget?
We're going to
Is it used by just your department? I think it goes to general fund.
Correct, yeah, I use that. I will be asking for some of that today, but it goes into the general fund. That's why this page goes, that's something you have to time where that money is used.
How do you count, in the budget on, your estimated revenue bringing in on jail? For me, that sounds difficult, because you never know how many are going to be there or how much you're going to get.
Yeah, you're right. I can tell you, since I've been in office, it's increased every year. We had a little bit of a tough time. I think I made $800,000 during COVID, but I had to shut the jail down for a lot of that time. I don't know where that money goes to the general fund.
All right. I mean, just for comparison of the general populace, how outfitted and what money you spend on patrol versus SRT, they are very well equipped. I know that. I've seen it in person. It is, in comparison to the community ICE.
We don't know that. I mean, what's I always say, what's an officer's life worth? You know what I mean? But we've been very fortunate to have, I guarantee you, we're considered a medium-sized agency based on jail space. And we've really got it good. But with that being said, we move on to the next subject. So what I'm going to cover next is Sentinel Request 22. We'll talk about that. Sentinel 22 funds are funds from the governor's office. I have five requests I'm asking y'all for approval on. Senate Bill 22 funds, like come out of the governor's office, it's a pet project of the lieutenant governor for rural law enforcement. He's been very proactive with his rural law enforcement. These are funds, how long are they going to be here? They say forever. We know nothing's forever. I can guarantee you, we've got 2 years, we've got 2 more years of proving it. So I think it's here for a good 10 years to come. We qualify for $500,000 of those funds. Under the sheriff's funds, it's for the sheriff to use at his discretion. Where I fall different than the prosecutor's offices, they apply for theirs, they report theirs. So that's why you don't have to say. For me, it's to use how I want, but I need y'all's approval. I'll just sit and talk about that, I need y'all's approval. So to start, I have these 5 Senate bill requests I'd like to talk about. I want to make it clear, none of this is taxpayer money, this is all Senate bill money. I'm basically asking for $287,000, $283,084 of Senate bill money to use for these 5 projects. Then I'll explain how we reimburse that money to y'all. The first one, as you know, 2 years ago, y'all gave 25% stipend to my staff. It's been great. Haven't had any problems. We're full with a waiting list. That and benefits, I mean, we're up. We're in good shape. I don't see some of y'all asking money. These are my first responders, not my clerks and other people. That money can only be used for first responders, okay? So my number one request is 25% stipend for the sheriff. It's number one, and Don will get into that, we'll talk, I know 100% we go all day long on that. Second is I'm creating a new division, administrative division. I'm not asking for new employees, I am asking to reclassify 3 of the employees I currently have. Again, pay with that Senate bill funds. Next one is a new part-time civil deputy, okay? Again, I'm asking to pay out of these funds. I'll go through these, y'all can ask as many questions as you want. The fourth thing is in-car computers. That is something that I wanted in my first year, my second year. We weren't completely compliant, so no sense having a computer in your vehicle doesn't work. We're there now, okay? This is a very large cost, very large cost. What I've done is I'm looking at financing, adding into my vehicle financing on 12 of them. The grant I told you for $72,000 will cover about 9 of them. In Operation Lone Star, I've put in for 40 of them. If I get 20, I'll be happy, but I'll probably have some left. So out of the Senate bill funds, I'm asking to spend $40,000 of that designated for in-car computer. I hope I don't need any of it, but I won't know till Senate bill comes in, which, Operation Lone Star, which is several months away. The fifth thing is a jail inmate scanner. What is a jail inmate scanner? That is an X-ray machine. We're at a point, as you know, the sheriff by statute is in charge of the jail. I'm responsible for their care, custody, and control of those inmates. We're getting to a size in our jail, we need a body scanner, which is you come in, they frisk them, they go through this body scanner. Body scanner is $185,000. I've worked it out with the company. They'll finance it for 2 years. At no interest, no extra fees or anything like that. And I'm wanting to pay for that out of Senate bill funds. That totals $283,000 and, let's get that, $84. That's just one section, we'll get in the other, but do you have any questions on that?
Well,
What are you referring this, what do you call this one?
This is my request, these are my requests.
I know.
for everything though,
For
the
Senate
jail.
bill, $283,084. I'm asking to use Senate Bill 22 money. And
Okay, so we're not
And so,
covering
you
just the
know,
jail now.
what I'm doing is, my understanding that money goes towards the jail salaries today. Obviously, we pulled 283,000 auditors short. I'm asking that y'all allow me to use out-of-county housing to reimburse that fee. Like I said, today I'm at 1.1, or at the end of the day, I'll be at $1.2 million. I'm on goal to make 1.8. Also, Judge, I have sent the letters to raise the price to $100 a day. If we were there this year, I'd make $3 million. I expect at a minimum make 2.5. My goal is $3 million next year with raising the rates. I'm not worried. We get emails constantly asking for housing. What was that? 100. And I've had 2 people already pull out, but we're okay.
You're creating for that Senate bill that you're creating that SOD.
Administrative division.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, which I'm inclined to be, all in for that. But when you're going to be moving these other 3 people to that, is that not going to create a hole?
No, Commissioner. Today, that's the way I had it set up. It's kind of what I inherited. That's the way direction we went. That will in no way hurt. These guys today are just assigned to the SOD division. I've wanted to do this the last couple of years. I didn't feel comfortable. Today, I feel comfortable creating a new division, reclassifying these guys. And these guys do a lot. These guys do all the work to make us the other guys be able to go out and work.
But they'll keep their current job descriptions that they have now?
Yes.
And then you're adding 2 towards that
much.
with a
Yes.
new, okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, Larry, you know my position, and I've stated it year after year on elected officials asking for raises. I understand this one's a little bit different, but I question SB 22 funds, how they were used in other departments last year.
Correct.
And I got a question for maybe Tanya and Sylvia. Let's say this SB 22 money goes away next year. Okay, it's gone. Okay, those salaries come back down, right?
No.
Okay.
Those are my, yeah, I'm sorry, I think he's talking about last year.
Right.
I put my deputies in, it's permanent for my deputies, okay, but that
Okay.
had nothing to do with Senate bill money. Well, I
Yeah,
put
it does.
500,000.
Sure
Yeah,
does.
it does, yeah. But what I'm saying is, I think you're talking about two different things here. You're talking about last
Maybe
year's.
so.
Yeah.
Well, let's just talk about the sheriff then. Okay, you said that, you told me that if it goes away, then your salary come back down.
I have a letter right here, yeah, and that's my understanding, I think, for all the ones that wasn't put in their salaries. I did it different, deputy. If that money goes away, it's good for 2 more years, okay? If that money goes away, you sign the letter, your salary goes back to what it is. I will tell you, open and honestly, I would never come to this court, I would never come to the taxpayers of Kerr County and ask for a 25%. And it's not a raise, it's a stipend. I would never do that. This money is designed for the sheriff to use as needed. I did not pick it in year 1, I did not pick it in year 2. I'm electing to ask it for y'all in year 3.
Okay. Still, back to you two. Larry gets this 25% raise and it goes away in a couple years, all right? Each year, if we give a COLA or something, it would be based on that total salary,
Not if
right?
it's a stipend.
If it's separated, the stipend's separated, you would just give it on the county's.
Okay. Clarification is what I needed, thank you. All right.
Yeah.
That's what it does in my office, and for our staff who gets that Senate bill money, each of my employees, there are only a handful of them that are allowed to get it, has signed a letter like the one the sheriff's talking about signing, saying, I understand that this portion of my salary is Senate bill money and is only available to me so long as it comes from the officer.
Okay.
So the real hard question is, are you worth the money, right? And are we the best sheriff department in the area?
Sheriff's
and
office, sir,
compare.
yes. Remember,
Oh my
we've had
gosh,
that talk.
I did it.
It is
I'm
the
so
sheriff's
sorry.
office.
Sheriff's office, elected official.
Aren't you in the academy?
Yeah, I know, I'm gonna do some
He,
push-ups.
he may
for
not
that.
graduate tonight. We'll let you
Okay.
know.
I might not after that
Notice the
department comment.
black notebook here.
But I mean, it's a hard question, and we've compared salaries, and that's the first thing I ask you.
You
know?
did. And
Like,
I'll argue that
how
with
do
all
we
day long.
compare salaries for other different sheriffs? And I know we talked as well, and we had a comparison. And everything that you've done with the jail, people are coming to you, the forensics are coming to you for a reason. So arguably, you can say, yeah, you are worth the money. And if you're not sticking it to the taxpayers later with your base, it's just a stipend,
Yes,
that makes it feel a little bit better. But it is a substantial raise. We all see that.
yes, it is.
You know, and, okay.
But ultimately, do we get to control that?
Yeah, yeah, you can say
We have to
no.
approve it.
Yeah, I mean, we vote for
Okay.
vote for that raise, and it's, and you do acknowledge.
But my
it's
understanding was
gonna be
that Senate bill
temporary.
money, they got to,
Yes,
y'all
sir.
got to use
It's only a
as
stipend.
the
And-
department head saw fit.
And the other second big part is, I see on there, the part-time deputy.
Yes, sir. So,
And I know who that is,
Okay.
and I know why you're trying to do that.
Thank
But that's, and the benefits that go along with it are part-time?
right, I wouldn't need
So
them.
it's
He doesn't
medical
want
only?
any benefits, just because he doesn't want to lose his Houston PD insurance, but.
Yeah, he wouldn't qualify for like the medical, that kind of stuff, but he would
Yeah.
qualify for retirement and of course the tax.
Okay, just wanted to point that out. Because that, you know, when we look at that, that is substantial, the benefit roll-up that normally goes with some part-time.
And he
but-
clearly understands, and he's good with it. He's already worked for me for a couple of years for free.
Yeah.
For free. He understands, you know, it's no harm. I'm out. You know, you tell me it's done next year, I'm out. He'll say, I'll still work for you for free. But we're actually gonna be having him do a pretty good service for us. So,
But, you know, basically by some of this, it's like one less computer we'd get for a car, or two less computers
Correct.
we'd get for a car for people. And we have to make sure it's worth the investment. And there are other funding streams for computers, which I know is important to you.
yes.
And I don't want to conflict this because we're talking jail right now, but
I know we're not even close to talking.
No, I didn't think we
we've
were.
gone off a little bit, but it's, okay, thank you.
Okay. So, Well, Judge, let's go, if you want to stay on jail, let's talk about, I am asking for one new jailer. I'll explain why. Basically, I'm just asking for 2 positions. When you talk about the civil deputy, that's out of Senate Bill 22 funds. But I am out of the jail asking for one jailer on my new hire request. Basically, 1 jailer and 1 deputy. The jailer, I have three shifts at 8, 1 shift at 9. Once again, I'll go back to the out-of-county housing. Those are the people making the money. Those are the ones out there working, housing, and taking care of these people. Example, the 1 shift at 9, it's a little easier, for them to take off and stuff when there's down to 8, because you're always at 7 because somebody's taking off. I'd like to get all of my shifts over the next 3 years to 9. What does that do? That also allow me to have additional. Once I get to 9, I'm kind of not maxed out. I can go a few more, but you got to understand. I mean, yeah, I'm making a lot of good money, Dad, but they're also having to work a little harder. You know what I mean? But so that's the reason I'm asking y'all for 1 new jailer. I'm trying to, in the next 3 years, get those shifts up to 9. And those, like I said, those are the ones actually that take care of these prisoners. So I know you wanted to stay on that, so let's.
Well, looking at the jail, it looks like it's going up about what, $50,000 or so?
No, I think it's going up more than that, Judge. So I'm just gonna tell you it out there. My big item, no, that one item is $264,000. That's my medical health. I have 2 red flags. This is the one here, and then my vehicle's over in the sheriff's budget, in the sheriff's office budget. WellPath, and they're very nice. I have 3 members right here. I've kind of explained to them they're here in support. I've asked them to be here. They dropped what they're doing. They are not here to give any presentation. I said, this thing goes quick. We can set up something if we want to do a presentation later. I emailed y'all last night. I understand y'all probably get to see it, kind of a little presentation of what they do. WellPath, and I've talked, WellPath is our medical health in the jail. I have, like I said, 242 prisoners this morning or something like that. And the way I refer to WellPath is like Motorola, okay? They're very, very expensive. And they probably don't like me saying that, but they're very, very good. Okay, the services they do, they basically take care of my prisoners. And I don't mind on YouTube saying, my prisoners get better health care, some of them, than the people out in the public. Like I tell you, the sheriff on the statute, that he's responsible for the care, custody, and control. Last year, WellPath tried to go up. We got a built-in CPI every year. It goes up anywhere from 3 to 5%. That's kind of standard. This year, looking at some staffing increases and stuff, and I'll kind of give you an example. During COVID, traveling nurses were making $100+ an hour. They submitted a contract to me. I got upset. I went and looked for other vendors. I brought other vendors in here. At the end of the day, I end back with WellPath. I feel very comfortable. They cover with us. I inherited a whole closet full of lawsuits. I have not got one under my administration, but I inherited those. And a lot of them because of medical. I mean, if these guys say they need something, I get weekly complaints, and they're smart. They go through the Texas Criminal Justice. They don't go straight to us. That comes down here. We spend hours and hours explaining what happens. And they're right there with us. In a lawsuit, they'll be right there next to them. They have their staff to kind of help us out in that stuff. But they are here to ask any questions, explain to you why, and to them, increasing my jail population has hurt a little bit. You know what I mean? This is a lot of money to me, $264,000. Once again, I said I'm going to bring in that extra 1.8, 3 million next year. I think we'll be okay. But they are here if you have any questions for them to kind of explain or ask.
Help me understand indigent medical services versus what they provide.
Okay, so we try to they provide the services in the jail. So I wouldn't even want to think, I would need double staff if we didn't have any medical services and liability on that. So while they're in custody, they take care of them. If it gets to a point where, heart, something like that, we have to take them to the hospital. And one advantage with them is they pay for the EMS. A lot of them don't pay for them. And then they go to the hospital. Once they leave the grounds, we're talking apples and oranges there. Now I have another budget that will take care of that if they're in the hospital. If they make a certain income or less, they've qualified, and y'all might need to help me. I don't deal in that, but I mean, they're indigent, which that is the county would pick that up. Okay, that you would need HR, but that has nothing to do with it in custody. Something I learned here lately is that with WellPath, they make 6 medicine passes, 3 medicine and 3 insulin passes. They spend hours and hours and hours just preparing the medicine, then hours handing it out, and then it's time to do insulin. In their defense, you know, they do a lot of work, they do a lot, it's a staffing increase, you know, just like everything else. If you have any questions, they were more than happy to come here today to answer any of them.
Well, looking at the jail's budget, this is item, 340, contracted medical
Yes,
services?
sir. Yes, sir.
And that looks like it's going up,
I believe it's 264, 445.
okay.
I don't mind telling you a quick funny story. Every year they email me the contract. This year it was a phone call. Hey, can we come see you? I went straight up to the secretary. I said, this ain't gonna be good, and we laughed about it. Sure enough, several of them come down, and we have a love-hate relationship. I love them 9 months out of the year, and I maybe hate them the other 3 when it's budget time. But they come in there, and you know, they gave me the first budget. I told them, and they said, what do you think? I slid it back and said, that ain't gonna happen. I won't even go to the court with that budget. We're gonna have to rethink and come back. That's what they came back to. They've been very good. I know this is taxpayer money that's used for this. It is, I am in, you know, in charge of their care, custody, and control, and I feel very safe with them.
Can I ask what that first one was? What they came to you with?
500,000. But they've always been good. And like, also in their defense, they tried to go up last year, and I said no.
I don't have any questions about WellPath, but I got some questions on some other stuff for the jail.
Okay, fire away.
I'm looking at some of the increases here that just don't seem to, I'm just kind of curious about them.
Okay.
Prisoner meals, I mean, I know we feed people, but you've got a.
What number is that? 332?
Yes, 332.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good increase whenever the jail size hasn't changed as far as numbers of inmates.
Right. Okay. If you should have some notes. Where's that? 3.3. Okay.
24,000.
Yeah.
So let me
I
go to
mean,
jail.
is the, you're
no, I can-
anticipating that kind of a rise in cost of goods?
Oh
or-
yeah. Where's short? Let's see. That's going to be 332. Hold
It's
on.
331,
Two.
two, yeah.
332. Okay. In talking with our vendors and stuff, you know, we try to estimate a month. The last 3 months, I can tell you that eggs, bread, meat, milk, all that stuff's gone up. You know, that's what we're projecting for the next year. I know it's hard to say. One thing I wanted to tell you before I start, especially on the vehicles where it hurt me. Today, I'm only getting 30-day out bids. You know, how do a vehicle that you approve and I don't get till this time next year, there's a lot of 30 days that went past there. So I'm only getting 30-day bids, so it's tough. So we just try to, of course, if we don't use it, which we normally use it, we've had an increase the last several months, you know, it's left in the line item.
Okay, well, and you've got prisoner supplies going up about 11,000.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of incidental things that I think are
Correct.
Maintenance contracts.
Yeah, the maintenance contract,
That's
that's
a
one that is
substantial
totally out of my
increase.
control. Those are anywhere from 3 to 5% every year, and they go up.
Okay.
But, what else?
And you're not,
Yeah,
you're
'cause that's a
making food
20,000
yourself,
increase.
right? This is not Sodexo coming in here and contract. Y'all make and prepare your own food, part of the inmate? I can't
Yeah, that
remember.
would be an added service. Yeah, we have trustees we use to prepare the meals. We have a dietitian that tells us, you know, we have to feed them a certain way
Right.
and stuff like
Not
that.
all jails do that, right? Like contract?
Correct, some have contracted, they'll hire, but we do it ourselves. That would be a huge expense if we hire. I think they tried that
Yeah, 'cause
before
they're
me and it
paying for
didn't work
labor.
out.
Yeah, I'm
Right
just
now,
looking at a
John.
lot of those incidental things, like those things are a pretty substantial increase. And things you probably don't have any control over.
Yeah.
Honestly, they don't really surprise me.
Yeah, yeah.
The meals, I mean, good grief. I was in HEB yesterday, good grief, it's ridiculous.
Bread is not quite double, and we buy our bread from HEB, actually, they give us the best price.
For food costs, did you get anything out of the garden to save you in the previous?
Oh, that was prior to me, I mean,
They did, they gave away most everything.
They did?
Yeah, they donated it out to different ministries and stuff like that, because I was over there at that time. And
Yeah, I can't
Uh,
remember. I
but
just
it-
knew
but
it was
it-
a thing, and we haven't talked about it yet.
It was
I'm
a
not sure
good
if there's
thing.
cost
The
savings in
inmates
that.
enjoyed it, you know, they got to be active and outside and do a lot of, you know, it was a good program, but they gave away most of it.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else on jail?
No.
Okay, then the next thing we've got is Sheriff's Department, and that's gonna be tab 560.
Tell me when y'all ready?
You ready?
Oh.
Yep.
Obviously, our substantial growth on this is our fleet. I'm requesting 8 new Tahoes. We're 2 years away from being totally on there where we will just start recycling. What I am asking this year is this would be the first year we will have 8 vehicles. At this time, we're looking at maybe trading in the 8 to help somewhat the new payments. That's a big ticket item. I did email y'all each a couple of forms. Since I've been in office, I believe they went up 105.3%. Totally out of my control, it's ridiculous. You know, and all the vehicles are comparable, there's not a saving, you know, you could save a little bit on a Durango, but I don't think saving that for giving up the room is well worth it.
Give us a line item number so we can look at that.
Well, there's gonna be 2, Judge, it's gonna be under the lease, which, lease payments,
Yeah, 462.
Yeah, the big
and
one.
we're going,
Yeah, lease payments.
so, you know, Judge, so originally my money, like these 8 Tahoes will go in capital outlay, correct me if I'm wrong, Tanya, it will go into the capital outlay. Okay, and then once that year's over, the next budget year, they will go into the lease payments. Because I don't know when I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get them in October, November, December, so I have to allow for that full vehicle. If you approve 8 vehicles, I may not get it several months down the road, so some of that money could be left in there. But I fully budget under capital outlay for those. Once that year's over, they go into the lease payment program.
How'd you come up with the number 8, Sheriff? Instead of 4 or 6?
8 will, if I use, I want to do a 4-year rotation. I think if I do 4 years, that's good. That's kind of a total fleet, like say 1 per shift. Now, we also have CID vehicles, what we call plain car investigator vehicles, that'll start rolling in next year. But 8 is for my fleet. That means every 4 years, we're 1 more year away from that, to where we get 8 and we trade in 8. They're still worth some money, they're still very valuable, and that's what eventually will bring our payment down.
No grant money available for these? Because I know you paid some grant money on
No, but
other
I can tell you what
vehicles.
I've done. I have the interdiction program where I have 3. I've purchased all of those vehicles. For the jail, I've purchased a Suburban I paid that out of commissary. I'm looking to get in another jail vehicle out of some funds. I'll probably just buy it out because we're just driving till we can't drive it no more. So, I don't know of any grants, I mean, for vehicles. As you know, one of the constables recently put in for one, but I would do it, but what's one gonna do me? I think, you know, I don't think we qualify
Not
for
for
it.
patrol
But,
vehicles?
but
Okay.
there's, that I know, because believe me, we'd be all over it if there was grant money for vehicles.
Okay, thank
You know, but I've tried to use other avenues and other streams of funds to purchase other vehicles.
In OLS, we try to put a vehicle or 2 in OLS.
That's
and-
right.
Yeah, so if
Yeah,
we
that's
get
where they've all-
something out of Operation Lone Star, then, you know, that's not added into the lease payments or anything, because we just pay for it outright out of the grants.
And we do have one in there for the new one. We won't know till later.
All right, but you're using grant money for other vehicles, so you do not have to ask taxpayer money for that?
Correct, and I've used seizure money to recently buy a Tahoe,
Okay.
outfitted. Commissioner Jones? Go, you gotta have some questions in here. Come on.
Well, I'm still a little concerned on the lease stuff. We've had some good conversations over it.
Right.
But have you got everything resolved on how you're gonna have all the money rolling into it now? Are you comfortable with where that's at?
Not yet, but we're close.
Okay. And my other question's about the vehicles that we lost through the hailstorm.
Okay, also, thank you. I did not say that. You got me. Also, in net prices, I know it looks horrible, it does, there is 4 vehicles. I did have 4 totaled, and now's the time I want to talk about it. I had 4 totaled. So let me give you an example. That money is in here to replace those. One of them was a Tahoe, it's a 2018. It still worked, I just put a new transmission in it. So what I do is I keep 5 spares. I know that sounds ridiculous, but right now we're using them all, okay? You know, because you just never know when we need extra vehicles. Not everybody gets a take-home vehicle. We had something major, they'd come check one out. But I'll give you a perfect example. That Tahoe, that 2018's paid off, doesn't cost us nothing a month. Well, guess what? That new Tahoe's gonna cost me $1,700 a month when it's replaced. Okay, so that's a fee that wasn't here. You know, I had some CID vehicles, let's say those payments, you know, were around $650. They're probably gonna be $1,000 a month to replace those. They're 22s, good shape, low miles, they're totaled, they're gone. So those are the things that, you know, those are things, how do I account for that next year? While we're here, and that's on my mind, in the 2-page sheet, if y'all, let me go back to it. The 2-page sheet under budget funds 2025, 2026.
What tab are we under right now?
The handout he gave
It's
us,
a paper handout, because this is
Two-page
just a
handout he gave
request.
us.
It's,
you're fixing to talk about the deductible
yes, sir.
contingency.
You
Right.
have to talk to commissioners. I am requesting a line item of $15,000, and I say deductible contingency. I'll wait till you're ready, Judge. Okay, I'm asking for y'all to give me a $15,000 line item that can only be used for this. Let me give you an example. 3 years, I've had 30 vehicles hit with hell. That's just hell. That's not the deer. We hit a lot of deer. Okay, every one of those is $1,000. Okay, I can't predict, I can't predict how many we're gonna hit the next year. You know, I don't think it's fair. Today, I gotta go find that money. Most of the time, we do have it. Depends what kind of year. Did I have a good year? Did I have a bad year? Here's an example. On these 15 vehicles, there's $15,000 that I gotta come up with. Yes, I have a very large budget. Yes, I'm gonna find it, but you know, that comes out of my maintenance money where we do other stuff with those vehicles. So it depends on how many breakdowns, how many engines, how many transmissions and stuff like that we go through. That is asked. That is not in my budget, that is a request issue. I don't have no way to put that in here, other than request for that.
Right.
Also, sorry, the other thing is the deputy. I am asking for a deputy. Several years ago when I first got in office, currently, we had 6 deputies per shift. My goal is to get to 8, but I gotta get to 7 first. Y'all have approved the last 2 years, 2 deputies. You know, my goal is to do this in 5 years. I need 5 deputies. This, if y'all approve it, will be my 3rd shift with another deputy. If the taxpayers want anything, they want coverage here. And Judge, you know, we talked about the West all the time. The goal is to get 2 deputies over there sometime out west. We cover a lot of area. We can talk about mental health. Commissioner Jones did a little workup on mental health transports. How many am I gonna do? I don't know. No, we did a couple hundred plus, you know, last year. The fuel on that, I thought it was gonna be more, around about $3,500, but it took me 618 hours we spent on transports. That's time we're not here taking care of our citizen stuff. So I can consider one guy gone the majority of the time. So even if I had 7, I might have 5 guys. If you take off, you do training, you do a transport. So my goal is to get to 7. I'm 3 years away from getting to 7. At 7, you know, we'll probably sit and look at it. I'll feel very comfortable. We can cover the county properly, but that's why I continue to ask you all for a deputy each year. We are still currently helping with Ingram, you know, also.
That was gonna be my question, is how much are we having to fill in over there?
It's been less.
Is it
It's been
almost
less.
a full-time need?
No, it's not full-time. No, they don't have 24-hour coverage, so we always cover after 2 a.m. till 7 a.m. That's all the time. I mean, I fight that, I haven't made much progress. It just falls that I'm the sheriff, and we're gonna cover it.
Right.
I don't think that's right, but we'll talk about that later.
Right.
But other than that,
I just want to say, well, I'm going to get new sheets to you. The very first line there on his request needs to change to $379,835 instead of the number you see there.
This is-
And that's to account for the, obviously it was going to be the 500,000% of Bill 22, but he's only asking for the 280,000
64 or whatever, yeah.
So
Right.
Okay,
who's being paid now has to go somewhere else.
got you.
Okay.
This is on, Fund 10, that first line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's under 560, it should probably be under 512, because most of them now are jailers. Everyone is jailers. It was,
So I'd drop the bottom line 200,000.
yeah, the bottom line's gonna drop to, I don't have the. bottom
That's
line.
okay,
I've got
but
the
a
increase
ballpark.
drops to 621,000.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else on Sheriff's Department?
Just one note, we did talk, I sat in on lease discussion, I think we all have. I was concerned about hail damage. Will it repeat itself? Well, it is Texas. You know, we've all kind of learned how to try to protect our vehicles. And I really was hoping for a solution with covered parking, or if they're at, where majority of those were damaged, was up in the new
Right,
development. where a
Commissioner
lot
Jones
of
brought
our-
a big point. I've advocated, I've talked to Commissioner Harris, you know, I would still like some coverage someday. I've gotta find a grant or something. But he brought up a perfect thing. How many would that have saved? Probably zero, maybe one, maybe one. We go, I can't tell you how many hours this year, hours and hours coming off duty, we went to the ag barn. Okay, but this last one caught us. I mean, boom,
Yeah.
I mean, we got a couple in there and the rest, you know, yeah, the subdivision, that's where the totals went out. It took the brunt of it. We're talking baseball, softball size. An awning would have done us any good.
And so those damage, those blankets they make to protect probably wouldn't have helped in that case.
Not that big.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
how big, I've heard about that.
It's affordable housing, but it's only a one-car garage. A lot of
Exactly,
folks have spouses
exactly.
in that.
And I can
cars
almost guarantee
parked
you
in
they're probably gonna have their personal vehicle there.
I know.
I mean, would you? I mean, right? I mean,
That's-
but, you know, and
frankly,
they,
that's the discussion we had, and people need to understand, and I was trying to find a solution to have it covered in their private parking, but
and some, they won't allow it. I mean, you know, I'm sure,
Yeah,
I don't know what the
sure.
homeowner association, but my guys know I'm very, very strict, very strict. If it's even, it's a pain for them, where they may live west, they may live east, they may live, take it, it's not my problem. You put that unit up, I don't care how you get there or back, you know, and that's just something we try to do to save money, but,
Going through the roof over there.
Yeah, they were going through the roof.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
and that's gonna, I hate to say it, it's just geography is gonna continue to hit.
and I was told this is gonna
continue
be a
to hit that
bad year, and
neighborhood.
it's been, I mean, this one hurt us the worst. It really did. 15 units is crazy.
I don't know what else you could have done in it.
It'd take me a year probably to get, by the time a lot of it was repaired.
All right.
Okay.
They're staying in service though, right?
Oh, no.
Those units are all out of
Yeah,
service?
That's why I'm saying every one of my spares is being used. We're starting to get a couple done. They've been fixed. Yeah, all of the windshields, but all 5 spares are out today.
Okay.
Go to
Anything else on Sheriff's
564?
Department? Let's move on to Sheriff's Annex at 564.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate on utilities. This 564, so y'all know, new commissioners, this covers all of my utilities on the KCSO compound. I'm comfortable, we're gonna leave it the same.
Okay. Good.
Okay. Then we'll move on to Sheriff Office grants.
And I don't know what y'all would wanna cover. I mean,
That's tab 76.
I mean, what are we supposed to talk to on that? I've never covered that before. What? Right, okay, and it's already allocated. I mean, if you have questions, that's why I got Lieutenant Gage here. It and operation, and the next 2 are fine, and we're operating. 24.4.
Okay.
And what's the next one you have on here that we need to talk about?
Stone Garden will be behind that, but same thing, I mean, grant's going fine. The next would be Department 72.
That's your donation fund?
Yeah, so new commissioner, these are funds that are donated to us from the public. They'll drop $25, $50, so I'm putting $2,000 to possibly be used in, for my next budget. So it's not asking, for this money I have that I'm putting in there that I could use.
Okay.
Obligated reporting, that sort of thing.
Fund 73?
SCAP, okay, this is money that we receive. I currently have $100,000 in there. I'm looking at putting 30,000 in next year's budget. This is one way I'm looking at buying a vehicle for the jail this year after I'm through with this process kind of look. And so I don't know how much that's gonna cost me, but what I'm putting in, so y'all see, requested budget, I'm requesting to put $30,000. This is money I already have.
That's not, we're not seeing that on there.
Are you-
That's on the second page.
Oh,
72?
Since we're on YouTube,
oh.
what is SCAP?
That's money that's sent to us for housing prisoners. Okay.
Okay.
And depending on the amount you have, I mean, I don't know, Kenny, you get this way, but I mean, that's,
Sent to us by who? Who
Assume
sent?
the state?
Yeah, where you said sent to us for housing prisoners?
Yeah, from the state, from the state
From
of
the
Texas,
state,
yes, yeah.
okay, okay.
It varies every year, you know, we use it, like I said, I'm considering buying a vehicle, just buying it outright, cause it's one of them things, we'll just drive it, so we can't drive it no more. I don't feel leasing on that one would be good.
Okay, then the next one is Fund 82.
Okay, these is asset forfeiture funds, these are funds we get from traffic stops, as you've seen, and stuff like that. Currently, what I'm requesting, I'm splitting $100,000, you'll see the line items. These are funds that I can be spent in those line item additional, outside of my budget, if needed. I have purchased a vehicle here a couple years ago, out of it.
You've had a lot of activity
Yes, sir.
recently?
We recently made that good seizure, dagged into it, we're gonna get 20%, so life's good.
Okay.
Okay. And the next one we have is the Sheriff's Office related projects in ARPA. That's tab 30, Fund
I
30.
don't have that on
Will
that.
y'all's project be finished this year?
Oh, yeah, yes, yes, ma'am,
Okay.
yes. What's our next one?
And then LEOSE is what, Leos?
Yeah, let me go to that.
What's that?
Tab 7.
Yeah, I
177.
understand that, but what is it?
Yeah, no, I don't remember.
Oh, these are also some funds we receive to be able to use towards training. As you see, I'm going to put $10,000 in my requested budget for that. This is money, again, that I already have. It's money we can use towards training and stuff like that, so I'm gonna put $10,000 that we could use if needed, if we run short.
Then we go to courthouse security,
Courthouse security,
Fund 29.
yeah, no, Commissioner Jones, you asked about maintenance contracts, that's the only thing we're going up, so y'all know that this fund right here is for me to provide security to the courthouses. Maintenance contracts, these are the contracts which covers, you know, they go up every year, maintenance fees and stuff like that, $3,051, and these are, like I say, out of my control. My administrative assistant contacts them for pricing for the following year, they give it to us, we plug it in. I mean, it's what they send us, so that's the only increase in the security, courthouse security.
Okay. The next we have Justice Court building security, 13. Fund 13.
What's the same?
What, I don't,
Be more overall than it's just,
I don't have that.
we've got money sitting there and we need to use it at some point. I think it was the fees that came in, used to be larger than they are now. We're not collecting very much anymore, but there is money there. I think we hired a bailiff now even for income.
Yes, ma'am.
And so it may be that we can use some of that money and use it.
Use it for what? Oh,
Judge, if you don't mind, I'm gonna like to get all mine out of the way. For some reason, my other one is, if you drop down to 630, is it, wait,
Health and Emergency Services?
yes. So y'all know the new commissioners, this budget line item, this is for Doug Thomas, our emergency management coordinator. His budget, you know, I also pay for a vehicle, but it comes out of his budget, his unit. Looking at a request of $700 increase, he has some things he's gonna do under where it says operating expenses, he's $300. He said, hey, that's not enough to do anything with, so we're requesting to take it to $1,700 increase, and that's the only one.
Okay, do you have anything else on here?
Well, Judge, if you don't mind while we're on it, next Monday, you got one thing on here that falls under me, fire protection. It is Department 14. I'd like to take, now that completes my,
14 is not on, is that on our list today?
no, sir, it's on for next Monday. but
Okay,
There's no change in it, that's why, but I can tell you that, I can come Monday and tell you.
well, let's just go to 14.
Let's knock it out.
No
It's called
change.
the Fire Protection Fund. This is to pay for some, just so y'all know, this is to pay for some towers and stuff, but, we've got money left in there this year. We think we have enough that will cover us for next year. That's, Fire Protection Fund number 14.
Okay. Before we finish this, Sheriff, I'm concerned about the SB 22 funds.
Okay?
And 2 years ago, when we did the 25% increase for recruiting and retention, you committed to use the SB 22 funds, which we did that year, we did last year. It's not being used for those salaries this year.
This current year it is, yes.
It is?
Yes, it all goes to the jail.
Yeah.
In the gym, salaries in the gym. For the current year, this year.
You're probably talking about moving forward.
Well, I'm confused.
Next year, he's asking.
So next year, I am asking to reallocate
Oh,
part of the funds
okay, I got
from,
you. I understand what you're talking about.
okay,
When we made the 25% raises, which included all the senior management too,
correct.
I was under the understanding that would be what SB 22 was gonna be used for, your SB 22 monies were gonna be used for. And you're not using them for that this year, next year, in the upcoming fiscal budget. I don't know where we're gonna find another $500,000 to be able to provide those benefits and salaries to your staff,
I do, sir. I know where we're gonna find it.
okay? Well,
And it's 283,000. I'm not asking for the 500,000.
Well, but in past years, you've allocated all your SB 22 money to
Yes, sir.
the first responding deputies, right?
Yes, sir.
And this year, you're not.
Well, that's your decision, sir. I'm asking to reallocate part of that money and reimburse it, like I said, through my out-of-county housing, which is also non-taxpayer money out of Burke County. Yes, sir.
But the expense to the county for the raises that were given them a couple of years ago still remain an obligation of the county.
Correct.
And so,
Correct. And the money's still there. I mean, it depends, it's still there.
So we're paying for jailers, and that's part of our continuing budget.
I'm not understanding, I'm sorry.
A couple of years ago, when that money came through, and the 25% increase was made, we allocated it between the deputies and the jailers. Last year, to make our job easier with position schedule and how complicated it was, we took the 500,000 and allocated it in the jail. So it's still being used for the purpose that it was intended for that previous year. We just allocated it a little different this year so that it would be less manual calculation on our end on the position schedule. So it's still being used as it was intended to, just only in the jail, not in the sheriff's office. Because we still only have 500,000, and obviously that doesn't cover everybody's salary.
All right, so that's part of our core budget, is
Yes,
we're
in the
paying
jail.
for the jailers and
Yes.
we're the deputies.
Yeah.
How do we compare what we're paying for a jailer with other jails?
I'd have to look at it. I don't have it.
No, we're probably a little higher than normal, yes. And that's why I had 13 positions before this happened 2 years ago. Jailers is just hard. I think Kendall's now full. We're the only two in the region that are fully staffed.
Okay.
It's really hard, but like I said, once again, I had 13 positions, and that's when I came to the court, and it's been great. It's been great.
But that's our core budget that's paying for that, but,
Well, it pays for 500,000 of it. I mean, I don't know what the total is,
yeah.
for that, but yes, sir.
Okay, anything else?
Did you get everything figured out?
Nope. But I'll work on it. Okay, thank you. Why don't we take a 10-minute break and come back at 10:30? comes back to order. We have the constables, or we can move on to road and bridge at this point.
Duh.
And this is tab 554. Okay. Brad, what do we got?
Okay, I made some changes to the current budget for next year, and this is why. Number one, I'm gonna ask for $600 in an operating equipment or wherever you think it needs to go, but it's for a computer program, an RMS-based report program. I do not have a reporting program. I have gotten a stolen car recovered from Kirk County. I've gotten a lawnmower stolen doing an eviction out of Kaufman County. Both times I had to write a report on letterhead and send that forward. And it's kind of embarrassing, even for all of us. But anyway, I don't have a reporting system, so that's what that is. It's $600. It's somewhere between $35 to $42 a month is what it boils down to. The other thing is, on my budget, I believe it's under 10-554-454, vehicle repairs and maintenance. You'll see under the current budget, there's $3,041 there. Part of that money, about $2,500 roughly, and I think maybe Tanya could tell us the exact amount if you needed it, but somewhere around $2,500 is donated money. We don't have a line item for donated money. So that money is actually not to be used unless it really needs to be, but for vehicle repairs, it could be used for anything for Precinct 4 Constable's office. Versus, I mean, the $600 I'm asking for, but that's gonna be a continuing thing, could come out of that money. I just don't have a line item for donated money, so it's kinda just put to the side there.
I bet you do soon.
No,
Nope.
you
No.
don't, and that's not the county way that you do donated money, you're gonna add it to wherever the funds can be spent. So that's why he's asking for an increase in the line items, if he needs to move them around to spend it, that's fine too.
Okay.
Yeah. And the other increase, I would like a little more money in postage. I mean, like when I do an eviction, have to do an alternate service, I'm required to mail that as well, and $25 in a year is not taking it. I couldn't do one for Precinct 1 just, I think, last week, and they had to do it themselves. And the other thing is I put in $2,000 in training, and I think any law enforcement officer can tell you we get the LEOSA money, and y'all just talked about that with the sheriff. We haven't noticed that we cannot no longer use that as total training money. That is only a supplement now. So I want to be able to, I still get the LEOSA money and can still use it. Don't take it the wrong way. I want to be able to pay for something, and if I need some extra, take it out of the LEOSA money as the state required. And that's kind of all I had, unless, y'all want to give me about a $15,000 a year raise.
No, we don't.
Okay. Well, that's how I was up here. I thought I'd throw that out there.
Anything else for Constable Ryder? Thank you.
Thank you.
And 1, 2, and 3, I think we're all within $5,000, is that right?
I know 1 and 2 were, I hadn't heard from 3, but 1 and 2 were definitely under 5,000.
Okay.
3 is also.
It is through 2? Okay.
It's actually dropped $200.
Okay, then we move down to, I think the next one, we're gonna pass on IT until Corey gets back. So we'll go to Road and Bridge.
Environmental health payments.
Oh, she passed.
Oh.
She came to talk to me. Okay. This is Fund 15.
There's quite a few line items in our budget that stayed the same. I'll just kind of go down the ones. We have 52 line items in that Fund 15, and 23 of them are going to stay the same. But I'll just start from the top on the ones that do have changes. The property liability, we increased that. It's paid by HR. So it also includes for pollution coverage for the fuel tanks, and that it is paid annually. The next one, employee medicals. Those are for, we use that for new hires under the DOT regulations for CDL drivers. They have to go through a physical and a drug screen. And then we also have our randoms, quarterly randoms that have to be done. And it's based on how many employees you have is how many need to be tested. So that is what that is used for. HR utilizes that line item when we're getting a new employee and going through that. So we increased that by 20% because we have 5 openings, and we will probably, what we're hoping is we'll be able to fill those 5 positions, but you'll have 5 pre-employment testing, and then you'll have larger quarterly numbers for your randoms. So that's the reason for the increase on that. Let's see. For the fuel, 15,612,331, we did 10% to allow for any price increase. And this also allows for travel to farther points in Kerr County as needed. We've been doing a lot of work on the far western part of the county. And so that will help with some of that. Fence repairs, we're gonna keep that the same. This is if one of our mowers gets caught up in somebody's fence. Usually we fix it ourselves. So that's not gonna change. The next one that I have, utilities, this one is budgeted by the auditor's office. So I don't know if utilities have gone up significantly. Mine at home seem about the same. Go down to sign traffic control, Fund 15,612,457. We added $5,000 in order to have a lighted crosswalk setups for replacement. Nimitz School through KISD is requesting 2 lighted crosswalks on Ranchero Road, which, if you're not familiar with Ranchero Road, it's our highest traffic road. And these are solar powered. We don't have any currently. When they did the Veterans Pathway, one got installed. And they're kind of neat. If you I think it's on Riverview Drive. If you go down there, you'll see what it's about. It's roughly $5,000 for the complete setup. They are requesting 2. They're gonna be responsible, how we've always done it with like new schools and, school lighting and that. The school pays for the installation and the initial cost of what's being put up. We bring it to court, ask the court to accept them for county maintenance, and then we take over. So if somebody hits them, Road and Bridge is the one that is going out there and getting them fixed. So they're about $5,000 for a complete setup. And I do believe that this will be done. J3 is gonna be the company that's gonna install. So we figured we'd have 1 complete setup on hand for any kind of repairs. The 15,612,471 KCAD contract, that is also budgeted by the auditor's office. Vehicle insurance, HR is the one that pays out on that. We increased it by 20% for possible price increases. I don't know how, when they go to insure things, how they go to insure the equipment, but, as we have new equipment, the values of that equipment is worth more, and I don't know if that has an effect on our premiums. I'm not sure how TAC insures all of that. The next one, software maintenance, 15,612,500. Our OpenGov, that program that you budgeted for us for this current fiscal year, we now are in production mode. It's not full production, but we are using It's to replace a program that was purchased prior to me coming in the office, so it had to be prior to 2008. It's called R&B IMS, and it's just getting very dated. This will really, it's got a lot of room for the assets on a road. It's not just the road, it's the signs, the poles, it's the culvert pipes, it's all of that. So this is the renewal that we'll be faced with on that for the upcoming fiscal year. And then for the shop, the renewals, he's got diesel laptops, and he hooks it into the equipment to read any codes and things like that. Innovation system, $750. Previously, we had this in operating supplies. That also is a shop tool. And then Altel scan tool is $6,500, and that will scan our international trucks that we have. So those are shop tools, and we moved that over to software, because that basically is what it is. Cold mix, that's what you use for the edges, level ups, and potholes. That's $15,612,550. We added approximate 10% increase to allow for the bid increases. This material is the most expensive material that we use. With delivery in that, it's between about $100 and $110 per ton.
Per what?
Per ton. The next one, aggregate, these are all, these materials never go down. 15,612,551, aggregate, we did a 20% increase to allow for bid increases. That's what we use to reseal the road. The next one, 552, asphalt oils and emulsion. This is also for seal coat, but it also is for an oil that we use. It's CSS 1H, and we put that down when we're gonna use that cold mix to fill in potholes and edges. It's kind of like a glue, helps to keep it stuck. So that's all in there, along with the CRS 2P. We did a 20% increase on those materials. Culvert bridges, that's the same, 10,000. Since we're not doing driveway installs, we don't have near as much on that, and really the 10,000 for us is if we've got a bad culvert under a road, to be able to replace that. And we're gonna be replacing one probably next week on Bear Creek, which is a recon project. I think the past sheriff will be happy we got that replaced. Road base, 555, 20% increase to allow for the material bid increases. The next one, capital outlay. This is what we're proposing for this year. Motor grader, cat motor grader, Trail King heavy-duty tilt trailer, F-450 bucket truck, Trail King heavy haul trailer, another broom, ham roller, single drum, international landscape bed, truck, a pneumatic roller, an oil distributor, a Vermeer brush chipper, one John Deere 4x4 tractor, and one John Deere flex wing shredder. This year should be the last of our higher amounts. The following year, we're probably gonna be, just depending on where prices go, but $1 million, $1.5 million is what we'll probably see. And then we'll have a better idea too, because we'll start trading equipment in that, still has a very high resale value. I'm hoping that if we stay with this, we should see that number come down by 50%, as we're trading in this equipment and replacing it with newer equipment. This will be the first time on it, so that's kind of what I think will happen, and we shall see. Lane Valley right-of-way, this is something that Commissioner Letts put in, and I think a lot of it had to do with, there was a development that is the very back end of Lane Valley. And every time somebody would maybe go to replat their property, Jonathan would try to see if we couldn't gain some additional right-of-way, because there's a lot of land back there. we had a question, you know, could this be something that, and this is totally up to the court, but kind of a more general right-of-way line item, that if there is other areas that has right-of-way, that we would be able to use that money on that. And it's been $15,000 for a long time. We're not asking
Makes
for anything
sense.
more.
I think we all probably have roads in our precincts that we're thinking about.
Yeah. And, you know, that's the way you start eventually. I mean, kind of, you go down a road and you've got wide right-of-ways and narrow, but if you don't start doing that, you're never gonna have enough area if, especially when you have a lot of land beyond that probably will develop. Maintenance facility, we kept it the same. We've got some fencing we need to do, over at the animal services property, that we've got material storage, and some gates. We want to do some remodel on our sign shop that is located where the main office is. We've got some ideas for our reception area in the office to do a few things. We wrote on here, house removal from additional property behind us. I don't know what the plan is for that house that used to be the clubhouse for the little golf course, but we kind of assumed that Road and Bridge probably will be the ones that would be asked to tear it down. Don't know, but we had listed that on there. And we're gonna have a back gate that's gonna go in for access to that property from the Road and Bridge yard. And also, when you guys were talking about hail and everything with the sheriff's department, ours is a little bit different. Most of our vehicles stay at Road and Bridge unless we've got a really bad storm coming in. The supervisors might take a truck home. And any of you have been over at Road and Bridge, it's been several years ago, but we put that huge carport up. And we've got a lot of equipment that gets parked underneath that if there's a hailstorm overnight or sometimes during the day. We would also like to, we've got storage containers, sea freight containers, that we've got a plan to be able to do some roofs over those, kind of make it portable, where we'll attach them to the sea freight containers. So if something ever needs to be moved, you don't have these, you know, that big carport, I watched them pour the footers, and they go way down. So that is not probably something you ever want to remove. You don't see them, they're underground in that. But I think that will help with our equipment and trying to protect windshields. A lot of the dump trucks will be parked under this new area that we want to do this. And we may be able to start on a little bit of it this year. Okay. Cave Spring Recon Project. Right now, Bear Creek is the current recon project. I think it's going really well. Most people are really thrilled on Bear Creek. The contractor is J3. They're widening sections that we can widen. We replaced quite a few culverts that needed to be replaced or the angle changed, which has really helped. And everything is going really, really well. Road and Bridge, we'll be going in and doing that last section ourselves. We've got that culvert pipe by Arcadia Loop Bridge, that the bottom of it is completely rotted out. And Robert and his crew will be working on that, but it's coming along. We're pretty pleased with what has happened on that project.
Everything I've heard has been positive.
Yeah, I kind of expected we'd have some complaints, but really, actually, people are thanking us for finally trying to widen that road a little bit. You only have so much space, though, because there's a lot of it is high game fenced, and but it'll be neat when the surface is on it. I think there'll be a big difference. But this upcoming fiscal year, Cave Springs Recon is the one that we're proposing. And we put the same amount that we've put in the past, the $650,000 on that. In front of you guys, I think I gave them to Don. I don't know if they've been passed out.
No.
But I had a request from Commissioner Paces about Flat Rock Park, some of the roads in there. These do not include the dog park. So I told them we could work up a number. Robert and Donnie went over, did some measurements. The nice thing is when you look at each one of these, and I think Flat Rock is the third one that you've got,
Oh,
There's three of them,
Yeah, there's
Gotcha.
3 separate ones.
and we thought they were.
Okay, got it.
Sorry.
We'll do the collating
Yeah.
real quick.
Now you're trying to get us to organize something?
Yeah.
Come on.
you should have handed this to Jody. Oh my gosh. Handed it to me.
Here's one of each of you guys, this one, and that goes about this stack.
How we did this is we broke it down in sections, and if you look at the back of each packet, hopefully you can see it. I had Robert take a map, an aerial map out there, and they designated the areas. So, you know, maybe we don't want to do a section this year, and you guys say, hey, let's do A and B, but we won't do C.
Two of them?
So,
We're
you know, it
talking
has,
about which one right now?
we're on Flat Rock.
Okay.
So the potential is there, you know, if you really feel like something needs to be done. And then Commissioner Harris got with me on stuff over at the West Kerr Annex.
Yeah.
And so that kind of triggered with me. We have a lot of facilities that have roads and parking lots and all sorts of stuff. And it's been a while since most of these have ever, you know, have been paved. I couldn't even, Robert, what would you say the last time for here?
Y'all have, you have these?
Yeah.
Still have an extra flat rock.
So I don't have estimates on all the facilities, but I went to the county webpage and looked at all the facilities,
Flat Rock.
created tabs. But I think it would be a good idea, even if you don't fund on these, that at least we have a placeholder for this stuff. Because you got a lot of facilities out there. I kind of didn't realize how many are out there. And, you know, maybe if one project gets tackled a year, or part of a project, you cut it down in phases.
Yeah. Well,
But
I went
there-
out there with y'all and,
There's a
you know, I
lot
was
out
a little
there.
bit skeptical right there next to the river, flood, put something in new and then a flood comes, it's gone.
Yep,
But y'all pointed out, I could see that it's been 20, 30 years,
Yeah.
nothing's been done.
yeah.
And it's, especially in the back portion before you get to the dog park,
Yeah.
it's pretty rough, pretty
Yeah.
rough.
So, you know, for these, it really doesn't matter to me if you fund them or don't fund them. But I think it's really important that you know that we've got a lot of facilities that are gonna need this, and we already know the longer you wait on putting something down to seal that surface, now you've got a bigger problem. Everything up underneath is no good anymore, and so now you're removing that, and you're bringing in new and going through the rebuild
I
process
think
on it.
Commissioner Pace has said something to me about, he was gonna have to give up some of the road work he was gonna get done to do that Flat Rock.
Well, generally what we do, and this is something, this would be up to the court, but to try to be as fair as we can, we've tried to take what is equal to the project in that precinct, because we can't do both. I mean, I can't do like all of these projects and plus do 50 miles. So the way that we've done it to try to be fair is that if work is being done in precinct 2, we've tried to, if it equals 2 miles, if it's a $50,000 project, that'd be about equal to 2 miles, that we do 2 miles less in that precinct. Because we kind of figured that's not fair to other precincts that most of the time
Yeah,
never
I'm
have
not
a
sure I agree.
project,
I-
because they don't have facilities
I
and
trust
stuff.
you to do whatever you wanna do with
Yeah.
that, but I think, I felt like he was kinda getting the short end of the deal on that. Because I don't really know that I have anything where that would apply to me in precinct 1.
Well,
And,
Well, but she's using it with the new
right,
road.
yeah,
right,
And
right,
employees.
right, but I was just
You
looking at the
You
fact
need
that.
more road because you don't have something else.
Yeah, I was just looking at
Yeah.
the fact that it's a county park that all 4 precincts enjoy, and it just happens to be in that precinct, and
Well,
so,
I understand what she's doing.
oh, I do, I
She's trying to
understand
divide
that,
it up
yeah.
with her crews and
Right.
keep people, just gets, got a big whiteboard in
Well,
conference.
There's pluses
know,
and minuses no matter what you.
Yeah,
without getting too political on this, you know, when the youth exhibit center went in, which I was all for, still am, think it's great. But I had a number of people say, I'll never go there and I will never use that facility, and a tremendous amount of money got spent on it. You know, and I was like, well, I'm not really the one that, you know, everybody has a right to their opinion. And I just feel like if they find out that a lot of work is being done in precinct 2 at the expense of precinct 4 roads, you might have somebody who goes, I'm never gonna use those, and I live in precinct 4. So I had told Commissioner Paces when he brought it up, I told him, I said, it makes no difference to me. It all pays the same for us.
I've heard it happen.
Yeah. We have tried to be as fair as we can about it, and so that's what we've done over the years to try to equal it out.
Right. I'm not complaining about your
Yeah.
system. I was
No.
just curious. I needed.
Precinct 4's got a lot more road
Yeah,
than precinct 2 has.
yes.
Right.
Yeah, we have 2 crews that work precinct 4. It's that big.
So it's a trade-off that I defer to your judgment.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I had told Rich that, you know, if you wanna discuss that, I'm more than happy to. I'm open.
Well, since
either
he wasn't
way.
here, I thought I'd just bring it up
Yeah, absolutely.
for an explanation. So.
Can we talk about
Awesome.
the risk of that investment and losing it for flood? I've seen historically,
Flat Rock, we're talking about?
All right.
every 10 years, 40 foot or above floods, I think come through, if that, if my memory serves me right, those that have lived here longer than I have, but.
It's a gamble.
That's the average, probably. But I mean, we have years that like we've had recently, we never see a flood,
I don't remember seeing a 40-foot.
and then we've had
Robert
years.
would probably know better than, we
Yeah,
haven't
it's
had a
lower
really,
Block
really
Bay.
big one.
It's a roll of the dice.
Sorry,
I mean,
37
live?
is the highest,
Yeah.
but.
I couldn't
Well,
tell you
I'm
how
out
it's
west,
and
so it's not as
everything
high.
else, but,
Not east.
Right.
we've had some good ones and we've had some,
Right.
and the thing with Flat Rock is too, it's such a flat, big area. You may not lose it all, you may
Right.
only lose a little section down by the river, you may get the
Doesn't
whole
get tight.
thing.
Okay.
It's a roll of the dice, on that, as we said, Mr. Harris it's the same scenario on a bunch of the other roads that are on the river. We
Right.
have a chance of losing anything on that as well.
But you're
So-
guaranteed every time it floods, Flat Rock's gonna be underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It may not be hard
And,
flow.
you know, it
It's a
doesn't get
flatter
the-
area.
Okay.
It doesn't.
the traffic speed or the number of vehicles, you know, pounding, you know, every day, you know.
Right.
So a lot of variables to look at.
Well, I don't want us to lose our investment. I think we need to
Well,
keep the
we don't
roads in
have a big
good.
investment there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, is it worth making? Would we lose it? But you're not feeling that way.
Not really, I mean, it's, I hate to throw that out there, if Mother Nature was nice to us, it may flood tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I can't say yea or nay on that,
It's been a long time since it's been done.
if you don't do something with it again, it's a better chance it could go.
All right,
I went out there very skeptical, and they convinced me otherwise, or my eyes convinced me otherwise, that we probably need to.
There's no
give it
question
some
that it needs the
attention.
roadway.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
need
we're
it.
not
That's a
really,
no-brainer.
to be honest with you, we're not trying to create any more work for
Yeah,
our
and there's big
department,
events out
but
there every year,
we know
so
the
we need to-
reality
they
of
need to be
these
accommodated.
areas, and it's been a long time since, and like I said, I don't have an exact number, but I went on the county website, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So I've got it in an Excel spreadsheet, and I have tabs, but I don't have the other ones calculated, but I was surprised, and I thought, we need to probably start thinking about this.
Worth bringing up.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yep.
I'll be more than glad to meet up with anybody down there if they would like to drive and look at it as well.
Yeah, my expedition has felt it
Okay.
a few times.
But on the other ones that are in here, just kind of for the record, the West Coranix, that's a little over 9 acres, I believe, and there is a section that we may use to store some materials and some equipment. We'd like to fence that area off. So we put in a estimate from Secor. And we have an area that we might do like a privacy fence. There's a house that it probably would be a good neighborly thing to do, to possibly do a small section that kind of hides everything. But that's in there. That one too, that's a pretty big one when you start looking at everything on it. And I was telling Commissioner Harris, because of how it was measured out, A, B, and C are front portions. It's that 2-tier that's in the front and then that main road going in. We can not do a couple sections, and that's why we kind of quoted the material cost of it. And if you look through, you'll see equipment and staff. I had Robert, kind of estimate what they would need. Obviously, the county's not, we don't put that in the bid of what this is because it's all county. But the material cost is in there, and that's what you see. And then if there's any fencing that we're gonna use a contractor, you'll see the estimate in that. And then the last one I've got is the Youth Exhibit Center. And kind of when the thing had gotten brought up about Flat Rock Park, I was talking to Donnie and Robert about it, and they said, one that we really, really need to start thinking about is the Youth Exhibit Center. Before that area starts really causing problems. We go over there occasionally to patch some things, but that would be a bad one to probably lose and have total reconstruction. The bad thing about it is it was striped not all that long ago. I think maintenance had it striped. So obviously if you went in and put a new surface on it, you would probably have to go back and restripe it.
Without a doubt, I mean,
Yeah.
that striping has made a huge difference.
Yes, and I agree, we all do, even when we've gone over for training. There's a rhyme or reason how you park over there now.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's a really expensive one too, it's a large area. But I printed those out so you guys could see, some of the costs involved. Like I said, the only costs that are in there is for, materials, some patching materials, a little bit of base, a lot of rock and oil, and then if there is anything outside of our realm as far as like fencing, we have the contractor's estimate in there. And I wanted to say one last thing on this, and this does not include the salaries or anything on this, but current fiscal year, our budget was $6,695,625, and what we're proposing is $6,503,776. So it's a difference of $191,000. So it actually is less.
Any questions? Good.
Well, these, getting back to, before we leave, these handouts she's given us and what have you, I'll say like the West Car Annex, I would say take off a small bite at a time. I think the most important would be back behind that they could immediately start using next year, maybe try to shoot for something else, but rather than trying to do a whole new deal. Maybe the same thing with some of these other projects as well. Don't tackle the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
My thoughts.
And the last thing that I noticed that we've got, Fund 22, and I know Charlie was kinda, but I'll kind of go over what we have so far in that. So if you find Fund 22, I'll kind of go through what we put in. There really is no changes. The dollar amounts are the same.
Okay.
If you're there, 22,670, 500 riprap repair and maintenance. We put in 15,000. This is, if we have an area that we need to use from a flood, sometimes underneath bridges and things like that, that's what this money would be used for. We haven't used it so far this year. It was 15, it's 15 again, what we put in it. Flood warning system, 22,670, 501. I'm not really 100% sure on this, that 4,750. What I think, and Tanya may remember, is I think when Commissioner Moser was here, there was some talk about putting in some floodgates and stuff like that. And I think we were gonna kind of work with UGRA on it, and I don't know if there was a grant that UGRA was looking at. I'm not 100% sure on that 4,750. So I think Kendall County, they did floodgates, and I think they put a floodgate on our side, didn't they, Robert? Or they talked about doing it? Yeah. But there was some locations that I think Commissioner Moser wanted to do that, and I'm sorry, I'm just not 100% sure on that. It's not a tremendous amount of money. That's why I think possibly it could be something like that. The next one, 22,670,511, Center Point storm drainage. That's the one that, the 3 easements and all of that, that's kind of down by where the Shell station is and heading towards Comfort. We had 31,250 in there last year. Charlie had told us to keep it at that. I think we're waiting to see when grants open up and stuff like that. So again, same amount as the current fiscal. And then road and bridge projects. You know, we've had Goat Creek cut off ditch, sections of it to be able to concrete it. We had 30 in there, we've put 30 back in it. I have no idea really when we're gonna have time to do it, but I'm afraid to take things off and then they get forgotten, so,
Well, I don't forget that one.
yeah. I wish we could widen that road, that would
Yeah,
take away a
okay.
lot of headaches. So,
Okay, did we need to do anything about road districts?
I can do those.
Before we move on, the flood warning system for Commissioner Jones, is this what there was recently discussed?
What Tara Bushnell was talking about?
Yeah.
Well, they're,
Our portion of it?
it's not our portion of it, we don't have a portion.
Okay.
They're gonna be applying, I think, $75,000 to a company that's gonna put in an early warning detection. And my question to them was, are they gonna be able to have us, you know, access to it, to Dub, to be able to get it out on our alert system
Yeah.
and stuff. And so that might be where you do not need this if it's a
Yeah.
flood warning system. And so
Yeah,
that-
like
that
I
might be
said,
something we
that's
can
the only thing
scratch.
I can come up with, because it's not a huge amount of
Yeah,
money.
and we're not inputting to that. They've got grants taking care
Yeah.
of all of it, and they're supposed to begin work on that pretty soon.
Yeah, so.
And
it
and
prob-
that'll be
It
incorporated
probably
in.
can be taken out.
Yeah, it should, yeah, we need to
I
release
would.
that. We don't need it.
That's what I thought.
Unless unless you know of a reason you need it.
Again, this was put back in quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
I believe it was a talk in between maybe Kendall County and Kerr County about some cross gates, early warning system, I'm not really sure. It's been
Yeah.
on there for a while.
And I think they're putting in a pretty sophisticated system that we'll have
Yeah.
access to, so.
I mean, we do currently have gauges, and you can do an RSS feed off of USGS gauges, and you can track it.
Yeah,
That's how characteristically it's done, but it's not really force feeding information about floods and what to do with it, which is this new system,
Right.
which is supposed to be integrated and do that.
yeah.
It's mostly software.
It
But
is.
It
Yeah.
actually is paying for repair on some of those current existing USGS gauges along our creeks and rivers. which is
Yeah, a while
interesting.
back, I went to something over at UGRA, and it was a program, and Bear County was there to show their program and how it works, and, it was very
Well,
interesting.
they've approved contracts, so they're moving forward
great.
over at UGRA.
Because, I mean, somebody at home can look that up, if
Mhm.
they're kinda like, is it gonna be okay for me to drive?
Cross
They're
or
gonna be able to
projected
see,
rays.
yeah,
Right.
so, that's a good thing.
Let's wrap up road districts, tab 20.
The only thing that I know on the road district that I've got, and I know Tanya, I don't know about any current ones that are still going on, so she can address those, but I do know under, Fund 20, and I don't know if that's the same fund, is it, for this?
Right.
We do have 2 areas that there is, money that is left over from when they formed their road district and everything was built. And, you know, Tanya was the one that had brought that to my attention a few years ago. The only way that that money can be spent is on, you know, that road. And so we've got Ingram Hills that will probably be coming up sooner than later, I think, Robert, it's,
And if I'm not mistaken, it's the backside,
Yeah.
it's not the front.
Yeah.
So, it's, got some addressing to be done on that hillside of it, yes.
and we've got $41,160 in there, so the next time that we do go to work on Ingram Hills, we will make sure to, spend that money. The other one is Oak Ridge, it's kind of over by Westway. And that one currently has $5,280. It's not a super long road, but every little bit helps. And so that's as far as I know on the, stuff with the road districts, and that are 2 completed road districts, but funds left over, so. Tanya may have something to add to those.
I don't.
Okay.
You just need to be aware of
Okay.
it, so, and then it's there.
Yeah, so we have kind of put it on all sorts of sheets so we don't forget.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move on to the animal services. That is tab 642.
Y'all been waiting a while.
Good morning, everybody. Did you want to talk about I think on here we had the animal control shelter, and I know you've all talked at some point or another to former Commissioner Letts, and I think he may have some of that on the agenda for Monday's a holiday, isn't it? Tuesday?
Take the
That's on
easy
the
stuff
shelter.
for you.
We're talking about, this is just for animal services.
Okay.
Yeah, he's, so that everybody knows, he brought in an updated projection of what it's gonna cost to finish the animal control facility. But they're trying to get it finalized so we can look at it.
Yes, sir, and I submitted an item for Jody to talk about, just minor, construction requirements. This would be the larger, Jonathan Letts, agenda item. There are
Right.
two, just so we're tracking. One is easy, one is much harder.
Yeah. But I'm also aware of what was asked there, so I'll be getting some stuff to him in the coming days first, so he's ready for that, so. I guess I can start out by, I'll drop down through here. I think that I trust the auditor's math better than mine. I showed just a little bit of an actual increase, but I'm hoping I've got everything put in there right, but they're showing that I actually have a little bit of a decrease in my budget. Let me just run through a few things with you guys so you know where I'm at here. The things that I did increase are vet services, increased a little bit there, and that's actually due to something that's kind of in the works. We don't have all the logistics figured out or all the formalities of moving forward, but the first thing was to come and ask if it's even possible to get some money for it, which that kind of revolves around the rabies drive. We've seen a huge decrease in that, just a little backstory. That's what we do usually in February, March of each year. There's not as much impact lately that's been seen. My adoption coordinator actually came to me with this, her baby, so to speak, and we're trying to figure out a way to get people more involved and get the vets back out there. Because of COVID, they kind of stopped going out to the fire stations and doing the off-site rabies vaccinations. So we're trying to figure out a way to kind of promote getting back out there. One of the things that we asked, she actually reached out to all the local vets to see if they would be willing, if it was possible. Nobody's really willing to do it, and unless necessarily maybe we can pay them a little something for their time. So I requested a little bit of money in there. Everybody came to an agreed amount, which was $400. So the whole thing comes to $2,400 there. It's just a great promotion. There was a lot of agreement there. So there's some that still don't want to participate, but everybody was given the opportunity. So I'm just asking for some extra money there. We'd have to figure out how to move forward with that later, if it's even possible, but it wouldn't be if I didn't have the money. So that's where that came from. Increased a little bit in our postage also. When we send off rabies submissions, all that has gone up. There's also a little bit of difference with UPS right now under new management or ownership over there, and so everything's just gone up on postage. I think you've heard that from a couple other microchips. I went ahead and dropped that down to 0, and the reason I did that is because I talked to Kerrville Pets Alive, Karen Guerrero specifically, and I asked her. I said, "Are you guys going to continue providing these microchips to us so that we can do free microchipping?" She says yes, and they're probably going to extend that a little bit as well. Because we're still doing on reclaims and stuff, we're still using some, but we're just not using that money right now. And this next year we should be fine to go ahead and drop that. I don't want to eliminate the line item because we don't know what will happen in the future, but we should be good for this next year there. I went ahead and added 30% to our current operating expense, and this is kind of an unknown deal. Obviously, we're moving into a new facility, which will be pretty much the whole next fiscal year. You know, it's supposed to be November. I don't know what that looks like. You know, I know, you know, anytime you move somewhere, and I've certainly never moved into a new building at work, but move into a new home, you find out there's things you need to buy, there's things that you didn't think of. You know, looking at operations, I don't, there's a lot of line items I don't foresee being impacted by moving into a new building. It's not gonna affect our uniform budget or training. It's not gonna make us use more gas. So I figured operating line item was probably the best place to increase there, just because I don't know. And obviously, you know, moving down to utilities, I increased that just by 1,000. There's some bills that I never see, one being the electric. I don't know what an electric bill for our facility currently looks like. I think the auditor's office, or somebody, I guess the auditor's office pays that out of there. So in my time here, I've actually never seen an electric bill. We do get water bills. We do pay for our dumpster service. And then right now we have gas bills, which are, you know, depending on your winter, can be pretty pricey. Each time they come out, it's probably over $1,000 to fill that gas, that tank. So I increased that a little bit, but I just, you know, this where I don't really know. I don't really know what, it's a bigger building, but,
Can we talk about that just by size, why, so people understand? 3 times the size? I mean, as far as kennel numbers?
yeah, and I mean, as far, if you,
square
yeah, I
footage?
mean, it may even be more than that, because I don't even know what the square footage of our main building is, you know, I mean, because we got the main building, of course, then we've got our little building that we're in, and then, you got your outdoor kennels, but those are, you know, everything's separate there, so it's kind of hard, but our building is not large now. I mean, I would say realistically, it may even be, yeah, I mean, 3 is probably a pretty good,
Yeah,
3 times.
I
is probably
appreciate
pretty
you
good.
upping this, because I'm concerned about what you're gonna inherit as far as mowing the grass, more electricity, you know.
Well, and that is something, you know, we do
Everything
have,
is 3 times the size of what you
Yeah.
currently have.
well, and maintenance does take care of our mowing. We do have a push mower, so we have, you know, a kennel tackle mow sometimes, like some of the areas where high foot traffic, like people getting dogs out and things like that, or the dog yard and stuff like that, whenever it starts to get a little bit, we try to get to it before maintenance does, just because people are walking there all the time. We can't always do it, but, yeah, I don't know what that looks like yet. And, you know, that is gonna impact maintenance a bit, because they are gonna have more to mow. And I don't even know, to be honest with you, I don't even know how much grass we're gonna have over there. I don't know what that, you know, there's supposed to be quite a bit, though, is my understanding, because I think that was part of something with the,
Gonna affect maintenance more than anything.
Okay.
That and West Car Annex. Big up for
yeah, right now we have a push mower, and, but maintenance does, you know, they keep up with as best they can. We're not the only place to have to mow. So I increased that a little bit, but like I say, that's something to think about, you know, the electrics. I have no clue what that is gonna be.
Well, it'll be more, you know, because your heating alone is all electric next year.
Yeah, and I mean, it will go down, I mean, obviously I think this last year, we either had to refill the gas was 2 or 3 times, and that's over $1,000. So we're eliminating that, so I mean, there's one way to
What
look at it.
size tank?
Oh, I guess that's a,
250 or 500?
is it 250? It's 250. So we're eliminating that, so that'll be, you know, depending on that, you know, $3,000 to
Efficiency
$4,000 right there that, for the year, that I think that won't be spent on that anymore.
But I wanted to bring out the only real change that you're preparing for is additional $9,000 in requested budget, correct? For operating expense,
Well,
39
yeah.
to 30?
Well, that, and then I dropped that 2,800. I've added a few things here and there. I added 500 to our immunizations and medicine, just because we're probably going to end up with more animals. Right now, some of the animals that we don't house that actually go to like a KPA foster, we would probably have the ability to keep them there. My thought was KPA spending a little more money on microchips, we could increase a little bit on that, because they do provide some of that stuff for us too. And then I added in another $2,000 in operating equipment. We're needing to buy 2 new bullet-resistant vests this year, because those have expirations on them.
Okay, thank you.
And then I can go into my special requests. Did you guys kind of understand where I was going with that, with the whole the rabies drive thing? Like, it's just, we're trying to look at new ways to promote that. I mean, we are rabies and animal control, so it's just something we want to look at. And obviously, I've got to figure out everything on how to move forward on that. But if we can, I think it'd be a really neat program for us to promote. Then you'll see, I think I emailed everybody this stuff, but special requests. This has been something that I kind of just decided, culmination of the situation, which I'll explain, to just go ahead and do. For a while, basically what I'm looking at here is elimination of one position, addition of one position, and actually elimination of 2 positions, really, and addition of 1. We don't have an agreement with the city of Kirkville. Not like we did for a while. And I guess let me give you a little backstory here, because I guess you may not be aware, but I guess about probably coming up on about 8 years ago, we entered into an agreement with the city of Kerrville for animal control services, and we ended up getting 2 additional animal control officers. This was for 24-hour-a-day coverage, and so we started out, and I don't remember exactly how long we did it, but we had people on 24 hours a day. It was not, it just wasn't worth it. We had, I think at one point I had one animal control officer with 70-something hours without having a call through their shifts at night. But we're very busy during the day. So we got back to having, we went to a shift that basically goes through 7 days a week, but still had the 5 animal control officers. We've also reduced some of our services. You guys have seen some of that. There's some animals we don't pick up anymore. Through all those things, I started looking at, and this is something I've been looking at for a while, but now it's come to the point where we've got to do it. Going in a new building, what kind of staffing do we have? Where do we need to make some moves? What is more important right now? So what I did is I'm requesting to eliminate 1 animal control officer position, and just be aware we're down 1 animal control officer right now. So nobody's, I'm not asking anybody to leave or anything like that. But we're currently staffed with 4. We're budgeted for 5. My proposal is we eliminate that position come October. We currently have 2 full-time kennel techs and 2 part-time kennel techs. Obviously, we're going into a much larger building, and I think the benefit of having a 3rd full-time kennel tech will be tremendous, and I think it's needed. Not only did I think that, but it was also voiced to me, as a concern that staff has, just because it is a lot more to clean. These guys are cleaning daily. You guys know how it is, you have 3 full-time people, but you may have two on a good day if everybody's well and not on vacation, whatever the case may be. But having a 3rd in there, I think is going to be absolutely necessary. And then that involves elimination of 1 of the part-time positions. Basically, the way this works out is the staff that I have today will still all be there, because 1 of the part-timers will go to full-time. And I've confirmed that with them, that if this happens, that would be what they want to do.
it is. So it would be an elimination of part-time, elimination of full-time, and an addition of full-time. Now, that full-time kennel tech is one pay grade lower than the animal control officer, so that's a little bit of a savings. And then I had also, when you look at animal control, the way we're set up, you kind of have, well, I can tell you when you run an animal control facility, you've got animal control officers, you kind of have to run the two things differently. You got the shelter, which is kind of its own thing. And then you've got your animal control officers, which they're kind of their own thing. You know, they bring animals in. Of course, everything overlaps, but several years ago, whenever I came in here and requested a supervisory position for somebody for like frontline supervision of the animal control officers, that's worked out real well. It's been a good thing. I would like to do the same thing for the shelter itself. So a reclassification there from adoption coordinator to shelter coordinator was something I wanted to do. I got with HR on that to find what like a similar type of role in the county would be, and it was suggested to go from what they're currently at, a 15 pay grade to a 17. They would be directly supervising, five other individuals. Basically, what I can tell you is the adoption coordinator is already doing all these things. They don't have any. There's nothing that happens there that doesn't go through her or start in that area. She's already doing all these things. She just doesn't have the supervisory title, I guess you could say, and compensation for it. But the other part of that is there's not going to be any reduction of any kind of job duties. It's just that the adoption coordinator position, when it was put into place, I guess probably about 5 years ago now, I think. It's just evolved a lot since then, and it's kind of become something that is way more. We have most of our adoption stuff is really handled by Kerrville Pets Alive and Freeman Fritz. You know, everybody does a lot, but all that's coordinated in one shape or another through the adoption coordinator. It's just they're doing so much more now. So that was another part of my request.
Are we actually technically supposed to be an adoption facility?
No, it's just that we have, you know, that's, you have to have some sort of disposition for every one of these animals, obviously, and, you know, there was a lot of talk about that over the years, what we should do there. And of course, I prefer all of it to be handled, you know, by, it's actually better handled by other groups because they just have more outreach. They've got tons of volunteers. You know, they work great with us. You know, it's just, I mean, it's I mean, we certainly prefer them to go that way.
Right.
Well, to give you the history on it,
A lot of it.
my first year on the court, I proposed a budget to identify the necessary services and duties that have to be performed by the county government and those that were voluntary. I pointed out that our animal services obligations are rabies control. And yet we do a lot more than that. And when I brought that to the attention of the public, there was this huge uprising about they wanted us to provide these services. And so that's why we got the adoption coordination business.
Okay.
And as KPA was founded and then matured, they've primarily taken over that function.
All right.
It's been real good, but it's been an evolution. I mean, it really has. You know, it was at the time that having somebody specifically doing that was super important. But where we're at right now, and you know, I mean, she'll still do those things. But it would be things.
Well, the reason I was asking is because of her title being adoption coordinator, and I did not think that was a primary function of.
Well,
I can see the title of shelter coordinator a whole lot more than I can adoption coordinator.
well, I think that's part of the problem he's trying to address.
Right, right.
I think it'll be a much, it'll clarify it. I'm gonna rework the, job description and stuff like that.
Yeah, it'll fit the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I say, already doing so much, so.
Can I ask about the hire the kennel tech and then just continue to hire and pay for animal control officers? Because on this budget worksheet, when you have the kennel worker, and I don't see any increase from current budget to requested budget.
Right. Yeah, so I have another request as well in there, but just, to get a little ahead of myself.
Should we see something else in here?
No, with everything I'm asking here, salary-wise, and there's one thing I haven't talked about yet, but, it's actually a decrease of $7,360 in
Right.
salaries. And I do have more to say, though, on what another issue, but it's a decrease to do this.
So it's a net decrease in salaries because you're not hiring a fifth
Right.
animal control
Yeah,
officer.
that position
You're
will go away,
absorbing
'cause-
some of that salary in a new kennel tech.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you're also, and that's with roll-ups and everything. Cause you're eliminating a position that was a higher, grade to adding a full-time that's a lower grade, but eliminating that part-time as well. Cause I've got other ways I can do that, we'll be better off when we need to be, during the week is our main things, and I'll still have the ability to clean over the weekends and stuff. But between the four animal control officers and the deputies, we'll be fine.
I appreciate that, as long as HR and our treasurer understands how this is all supposed to work.
Yeah.
And that's reflected.
We didn't actually put any of the changes to salaries in a hard copy in the individual lines at this time. It's a whole lot of work, and we're just now starting out in the budget process. Y'all may decide not to do some stuff, do others, and it just keeps the work from being so large. You should have another sheet in there that will explain most of those. I think it's more in the front. If you don't have it, we'll put it in. It's HR actually puts it together. And so if I'm not mistaken, it's in the first or second tab, but I don't recall.
Well, yeah, it's in the first line of the budget on the special request line. It's a, that's the
This
neg,
one?
Yeah.
see, this is
I don't have that.
Let's hear,
yeah.
Yeah. I think I've seen it.
let's hear it.
Oh, it is, okay.
Isn't
yes.
it? I've got it, but I don't know.
Yeah. I've seen it, but I don't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were emailed to you guys individually.
Well, with all these changes, including the one that I haven't spoken about yet, our budget actually went down about $3,000. Which I know seems weird, because we're about to move into another building, but it's just kind of the way it.
No, I mean, I think we have enough drama to figure out
Well,
that
I've got,
building alone.
well, and, you know,
This is,
well, that was kind of one of the other things I wanted to talk to you about too. You know, we've hit a point now where, you know, I've got, and I talked about this last year, but I got 2 deputies that, in looking at, and you know, I'm not comparing what we do to anybody else, okay? I'm not taking away from what anybody else does, but we got law enforcement officers is the bottom line, and we don't have anybody we can compare to in this area, or really, I'm sure there's gotta be something out there somewhere, that does what we do, but the only places that I find it is in large cities, in massive police departments or other areas. It's not comparable in any way with pay. There's just nobody that does this, you know, like we do, that I can find. I've looked, I've been doing this for almost 14 years, so I can't really compare us to other similar departments, because it's not just animal control, it's not just environmental, it's all of it. It's assisting with other departments. You got your OSF, we handle the enforcement aspect of that whenever it comes to it. Just the way we're structured, so your only real way you can compare is just to other law enforcement agencies in the areas, because when you have somebody come out of an academy, generally speaking, and I can't speak for everybody, but you don't go out and look to work in the lowest paying law enforcement role, agency, whatever you want to call it, in an area. You're gonna try to get as much money as you can. And when the judge earlier was talking about existential threat and things, we've hit a point where I'm asking for increase in basically an increase in starting salary for the deputies, because things are about to change. I can see where we're heading here, and we will not have a solid waste division of the environmental health department unless we can do something here. The issues that I see in the future that stem from if we don't have law enforcement. Yes, I'm here, I'm law enforcement officer. I'm not asking for this for me. But what we have is extremely difficult to replace. And the reason for that is because I have two people with extensive experience in animal control prior to getting into law enforcement, which is actually something you don't find a whole lot of. I would guess that I could probably go to most law enforcement officers in this area and say, hey, have you ever been an animal control officer? Probably not. If I have to hire somebody for a law enforcement officer position, it's not just me doing that hire. I have to get approval for that because it's not me holding their commission. I have somebody that is holding our commission. And if they don't like somebody, then that goes out the window. This is not like hiring an animal control officer where you get somebody in, start training them, send them to a 3-day training to get certified. This is a huge, extensive undertaking, one that I actually don't think you'll ever fully get back because of that added animal control officer experience. These guys are constantly, day to day, they're intertwined in both environmental and animal control. So by increasing the starting pay for this department, for the deputies, obviously that increases where they're at because they've been here for a while. But I can't emphasize to you enough what not having that. It's just, I understand that you can hire people in positions. If I leave today, you can hire somebody that's going to take my spot. But I want to emphasize to you guys the importance of these two deputies because they do have extensive experience in this. It is not an easy thing to replace. It is years-long training. It takes years to become proficient in this stuff. So that's kind of what I'm getting at there. The other aspect that I look at is without increasing that, and let's say you do have to go out and hire, well, who are you going to get? Somebody fresh out of an academy that can't get on somewhere else, somebody that's been let go from another law enforcement agency and can't get hired on somebody else. I don't want misfit people. I already have hard enough time retaining animal control officers because that's a revolving door. I have 2 animal control officers right now that have been with us for an extended period of time. One that started the day that I became the director, and another one that's been here for probably about 5 years, coming up on 5 years, and that is tremendous amount of time for an animal control officer. I had never seen that before, except for the 2 guys that are deputies and that are deputies now, and our adoption coordinator. I'm gonna let him talk here in just a minute, if that's okay with you guys, because he's got a little presentation, and he'll kind of go into that. But there is a national average for length of time people actually stay in those positions, but that's a revolving door. I got people constantly in and out, and it's because of the pay. And like Bob mentioned earlier, I don't know exactly where everything is with that salary study and stuff, but I think they'll find that our animal control officers, you know, they're compared to some others that, you know, it's just hard for me to keep them. And it's hard to train them. You got to train them. And I just mentioned that because I don't want to stretch that into this other part of the department that can't do that. That's not an option there. I can't have a revolving door like that. It just, the efficiency and the proficiency that you see now, you will not see again. Not for a very long time. And if there's anything you guys need in the meantime, like if anybody hadn't seen any of my letters, because I'm pretty sure I sent to everybody, but I'm actually wondering now because I don't remember sending to. I'll have to look. But
I didn't get it.
I've got a real good sheet here that breaks it down. I know the judge has it. Overall decrease in salaries. I'm asking for these things because this is the best way to keep this department, and it's a department that I have invested 14 years of my life in, and that I really love. I know that we talk about the animal control aspect, and that can weigh on you pretty good. And it's definitely a difficult thing to deal with sometimes, but I love it. The environmental aspect of our department, you know, that's what I started doing when I got here. I had nothing to do with animal control, and I developed a real love for it. I don't want to see anything like that. We need to do something here, and I'm asking you to please do something. If you don't mind, I'll let Sean, if y'all have any questions for me, I'll come back.
Just real quick, you said it's difficult to compare what you do to other counties. I know we've had some opportunity to look at different salaries, but Kendall does have an animal control facility.
Right.
Understanding we may do a little bit different. We have just under Kerr and Kerrville, OSSF, environmental compliance, and you do have KPA and some labor that's wrapped up in there, so we may be a little unique. But how do you compare salaries in between those two? Have we looked at that?
I don't have numbers with me, so I can't answer that.
You mean compare like animal control officer salaries? Yeah. Well, and they're doing strictly animal control stuff.
Yeah, it's not OSSF.
They're not doing any of that. These guys are strictly animal control officers. They don't delve into environmental, OSSF, you know, anything with the illegal burning, like that's
dumping,
all.
Yeah.
These guys are doing all of that and then all this too. So and that's something I probably never really made clear
That's the problem they've got. They can't compare apples to apples with anything because we're very unique in what we do.
Yeah.
In my short presentation, some of it will be what he said, but I goes into it more.
You can talk about that?
Well, let's
Okay,
hear it.
thank you. Have at it.
Identify yourself so that people know who you are, Sean.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm Sean Gore. I'm Senior Deputy Constable of Kerr County Environmental Health and Animal Control.
The microphone's right there, just try to speak into it.
I'm Sean Gore. I'm a Deputy Constable in Kerr County Environmental Health and Animal Control. I've been with the department almost 12 years. This July will be 12 years. First of all, thank you guys for hearing me out. The purpose of me speaking today is the Deputy Constable's contribution to Kerr County Animal Services and Environmental Health, and the market value, and why I believe the salary adjustment is warranted. Now, that being said, my jobs and duties of when I took this position versus what they are now, it's just a drastic difference, drastic. And I'd like to say I absolutely love and adore my job. Y'all have a clear-topped, blue-binded presentation folder in front of you? Yes, sir, that's the one. And you can follow along with this or just listen to me. The jobs and duties I'm going to kind of burn through. Reagan touched on a bunch of them already. The role of a Kerr County Environmental Health and Deputy Constable encompasses a blend of law enforcement duties and environmental health enforcement responsibilities. This position is pivotal in ensuring public health and safety by enforcing environmental regulations and supporting the county's environmental health initiatives. Now, core responsibilities, of course, environmental health enforcement, illegal dumping, illegal burning, solid waste issues, the nuisance abatement program. We've done very few actual abatements over the years because, as everybody knows, it comes down to the almighty dollar, and those are very expensive. But it is a good program. Law enforcement duties, process serving legal documents such as subpoenas, warrants, other court orders as directed, civil paperwork. All of us, all the elected constables utilize us for serving civil paperwork or covering court bailiff. There's not one constable that I haven't served writs for or covered their bailiff duties. Collaborate and community engagement. We work closely with several other departments, like was previously stated. All of OSSF's enforcement comes to us for investigation and enforcement, whatever that may be. All the elected constables' offices, animal control. Public education, we try to do as much as we can. I really enjoy doing career days and citizens academies and things like that. The environmental health side of it's kind of boring, but people really do enjoy the animal control side of it. The qualifications and requirements for these positions, peace officer certification, knowledge of environmental regulations and animal law, familiarity with local and state environmental animal laws and ordinances, animal control training and certification, civil process training through TCO to be able to perform the duties of a constable, communication skills, and physical fitness, of course. Now, what has changed since now versus then, when I started in this position? I'm a supervisor over 5 animal control officers. This includes training, proofing reports, assisting with any case. That includes and goes beyond a Class C misdemeanor. Managing equipment, trucks, tools, be available 24/7 by phone for issues that may arise. These are just a few examples. In years past, the environmental deputies did not have much to do with the operations of animal control. But as we all know, animal control has changed. It's evolved so much in the past few years, it was necessary to do a restructure to the department for efficiency and accountability. Now, let's be honest here, almost no one wants to do animal control work. The national average for these positions is 12 to 18 months. Kerr County has 4 people in this department that have been there in these positions for well over a decade. The deputies in this department assist with many other agencies for various other reasons. Like I said, all of OSSS enforcement, assist all the elected constables for serving, civil papers through their office and the JP courts. This is a relatively new thing in the past few years, and I just want to thank the elected Precinct 2 constable for allowing me and training me on how to do the civil side of things. So that means when we are able to step in when they're out for various reasons, JP Court doesn't have to stop. We can still get the writs and the civil process completed for these offices. When I started in this position, deputy constable and the deputy constables before me, there was some involvement with animal control, but nowhere near to the degree it is today. Animal control is an all-time consuming and difficult to navigate between public perception and having mission accomplished at the end of every day. But I love it. I truly do. The deputy constables before me did not have to euthanize animals or take an animal control officer on-call rotation. We do that now, and I still love it. The deputy constable before me also rarely had any dealings with civil process out of the JP courts or the elected constable's office. And I'm happy to do it. I really am. Our value in this department can't be measured. For one, I searched high and low for another department structured like ours with a similar population. It just doesn't exist. And Director Gibbons stated that in bigger cities, much higher population, there are some similar departments, but there's just no comparison. Secondly, the deputies in this department have got to be some of the most billable positions within the county. Our willingness to help is what's created that. I don't know of any other position that can or will help in so many other departments. The deputy constables work on average 40 to 50 hours a week covering many different duties. I mean, right now you have people in positions that are experts in many different fields: illegal burning, illegal dumping, solid waste, abatements, OSSF enforcement, animal control from running traps to cruelty investigations and everything in between, and also being a Texas peace officer. I think it would be the responsible thing for the court to figure out how to keep people in these positions. That being said, it takes me to the market comparison for peace officers in the area. Please look at the graph provided. If you just pull that tab forward, it'll show you a colored graph. Now, let me start by saying everything that those other agencies are getting, they absolutely deserve, and then some. Constables in years past have always been at starting deputies' pay. Well, now that we've seen what the market is out there for peace officers, I'm not saying it would be impossible to replace anybody, but like Reagan said, it would be extremely difficult. You know, why work for mid-50s when you can work for mid-60s? You're going to want to get the most amount of money that you can. We already have quality, dependable, and trained individuals in these positions. Why not pay them? Any one of us is a valuable asset to any team. And I really want this next statement to resonate. I'm not asking for more, I'm just asking for the same. Just starting Kerr County deputies' pay, plus our years of service and promotions. Retention has now become a real concern in this department because of the difference in pay. Just in these two positions, you have a Marine, you have a bachelor's degree, you have a trained supervisor, trained environmental investigator, trained animal control officer, and countless hours of continuing education hours. We really have a stacked team and a wealth of knowledge just in these positions alone. And that's not including the rest of the department, but that's a discussion for another day. I need the court and the citizens to understand that the deputies in this department are committed to providing the best service to Kerr County that our knowledge, skill, and budget will allow. The time that all of us have with this county and the quality of service we provided through the years prove that. In closing, and again, I absolutely love and adore my job in this county, and I fully understand what I've been hired to do, and I do it well. I'll leave you with this. I'm not asking for more, I'm just asking for the same. Thank you. And that last tab is just a outline comparison of what was in the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be
Thanks,
dismissed.
Sean.
I might have questions for the sheriff, trying to compare apples and oranges. Sheriff, what does a sergeant make, annual salary?
Well, it
For a
just depends on
deputy
your
sergeant?
service. Do you know, Scott, what the top of
I know it's a
sergeant?
range,
I don't
because
have
y'all's
it
experience.
in front of me right now. 20, wait, wasn't prepared for that, sorry.
Yeah, because
I know it's
you want to make it the
25,
same, but
25.
now I'm trying to, okay, what is the same? Trying to compare salaries and ranges. What does the lieutenant make?
Well, it all just depends, you know, what we could get you to start. I'm just not prepared for those. Yeah, it's different grade.
Yeah, I need to understand that range.
I think what they're asking is to be in the grade as a patrol deputy or.
The same base, plus our years.
So with the sheriff's office, the deputies start at an 8. So if they're 21 and a half, they're gonna start, a brand new person off the street is gonna start at an 8. They would start at a 1. So what they're asking is to jump to that 8.
So what they're
We're talking about
asking-
steps?
Yes, starting steps, because that was the steps we gave, the 2 years ago when we used that 25%.
There was 7 steps.
7 steps, sorry.
So last year they got 1 step, they again requested the same. They requested 8 steps last year, they only got 1, so I think this year they're only requesting 6 additional steps to get them stay in the same grade, but in adding 6 steps would then get them to the grade, the steps that the sheriff's office was, the total 7.
Yes, but we're talking just a regular patrol deputy.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, it's hard to equivalate, but you manage 5 people,
Right, and I was.
like a sergeant does on
And I was
patrol.
given 1 step for that.
Yeah, he's at.
And you manage the whole department.
He's at, he's at 22.
Yeah,
And a
this is
half.
22.
22.5 is the, and then, cause see, so basically what I'm asking for here is like it's really, I mean, I guess you can look at it 2 ways. Yes, I'm asking for an increase in their pay, but also the starting pay. I'm asking for an increase in the starting pay for somebody going to the position.
which in turn increases their pay, you know, because they've been here for a long time. So they've got increases in steps because of years of service.
No, I got it. I'm just trying to understand. And when I added up the numbers, it looks like a 20% increase.
Which sounds about right, because that's what the increase was 2 years ago when we increased the sheriff's office.
Okay.
The deputies.
All right, thank you.
Anything else for Reagan? Thank you.
Good job, thanks.
Okay. Next, we have magistrate.
She's asking for the same as last year.
Okay, then we'll go on to human resources.
I'm not sharing.
Human resources, unless you have any questions, there is no increase, it's a
I'm not
decrease.
sure we've got everything passed out right.
It should be, general provisions,
Yeah.
yeah, they're paper clipped.
We don't have it right.
Okay. Each,
We took some, let's put one together that's a whole, it's got all of it.
okay,
We got the calendar,
2 calendars and a general provisions.
2 calendars, okay.
That's two of them. Oh, two calendars?
Yes, it's a,
Okay,
no, yeah, there's, awesome.
it's a one sheet. I thought it was, I didn't know it was.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's it. You got two calendars here. Okay,
Yes, on purpose.
and then the staples, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
okay.
Okay, so I was gonna start with HR if you have any questions for me. It's actually decreasing a little this year, so I don't know if y'all want me to go into any discussion there.
Let's get that, that's,
493.
yeah, we're
493.
493?
Looks good to me.
Okay.
Good there. Then I'll move on to indigent health. Fund 50.
No, I lost mine.
Fund 50.
Fund 50.
50?
Right.
Okay,
For Fund 50, this year I am asking for a $100,000 increase. Last year we didn't pay bills as they should have been, and so the increase probably should have happened since last year, had things been, done properly. And so this year I am asking for the increase. We have seen a spike in hospitalizations with our inmates over the last 6 months. Over the last 4 years, ILDA has done an analysis on how much has been spent or should have been spent, and we've actually increased about 42% on that medical care. So we are asking for that increase. Just since January through April, this current fiscal year, we've received a total of in $356,000 for bills for the inmates. We anticipate we'll pay about $121,000 of that once we get our credits and the rates are reduced. So that's an average of about $30,000 per month. So that's what the increase is.
okay, any questions? Okay,
Okay, that's
Then,
it for indigent. And then we have,
Health insurance and benefits?
yes, so with health insurance, we just, we did the webinar yesterday, which is the, kind of the first step of the renewal process that we, sat through that yesterday. We will get our, renewal rate hopefully tomorrow. That was what they told us. But they are seeing a 6 to 8% increase in the pool. So, it's gonna depend on claims. And I do know based on our last presentation that Ernesto Caban gave a couple courts ago, that we are a little high on claims, so.
Right.
6 to 8% is the average currently. We'll know tomorrow. So, next, June 2nd, I've added myself back on the, agenda so that I can discuss numbers, because by then we'll have them.
Okay, very good. Any questions for that? Okay, county holidays.
I proposed two, I give you all two different options. There we go. One is just kind of the same as we have currently, and the option number 2 is Juneteenth, which was a federal holiday a couple of years ago, and I added it again as an option.
Yeah. I've never supported that one, and it's mainly because I don't see any big celebrations around here or anything like that. Some communities do.
Which holiday?
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth, that's the only difference
It's
between
been
one
made a
and the
federal
other.
holiday.
Yeah,
We haven't
yeah,
observed it.
right.
We don't decide that today.
No, just this is just my
We know
proposed.
the options.
Yes.
It hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, anything about the general provisions?
And on the general provisions, it's really just preliminary as well. I did add, we recently had discussed a change in policy, so I did add in its yellow, highlighted yellow, that we're being more specific for the 2-step increases only for new to Kerr County employees, not interdepartmental changes. So I added that in there. Some of this other stuff I anticipate possibly can change as the budget process goes on, but for the time being, I don't know what those predictions are.
Okay.
So we'll revisit those, I feel like, later in the budget process.
And policy review?
That's
That's it?
kind of what that general provisions.
And that finishes you off, right?
Yep, that's me.
Okay, anything else for it?
Do you have any questions?
Thank you. No. And I think the next one we've got is crime victims.
Mine is actually pretty simple because I reduced my budget,
That's
but I,
tab 438.
okay.
Go ahead, buddy. Okay, go ahead.
Mine went down a little bit because I made a note in there. Every other year, we have a training that's quite a distance, South Padre Island. It's the only one really that is provided, but next year they may have something, so I left something in there, but overall I went down $2,000. So I wanted to put that out there. And I also wanted to point something out to the court, in case you didn't know. There were 52 VOCA grants applied for in our region. Out of those 52, we were number 2, which puts us in a good place. I've heard rumblings, depends on who you listen to, that with some of the cuts, that's a trickle-down effect, which then might reduce VOCA or funding in general to the office of the governor. So being number 2 puts us in my opinion, in a secure spot. So I'm really proud of that. Cheryl was instrumental as well. She affords me the time to be able to do it, as well as she's a great data keeper, as I've mentioned before. So I just wanted the court to be aware of that. So I think we're in a good spot for the money that we will get. I don't see any issues there. So if you have any questions about how mine's pretty much the same every year, but if you have any questions or suggestions, I'm open to that.
Good job.
Thank you. We're
Anything
proud of
else?
that. I really wanted to be number 1, but I'll take number The Grace Center beat us out in Fredericksburg.
Is that right?
And they're a very new program, and they do great work. So if I'm gonna get beat, I'll take it from the Grace Center.
Right.
So,
Good deal.
all right. Any
Okay.
questions,
Thanks, Pam.
anything?
No?
Okay.
Thank you. Anything else you want to address this morning?
What happened to IT?
Huh?
What happened to Corey?
He's out of town.
Ah, okay.
So, there being no more business before the court today, we are adjourned.